Hello! Hello, Shubble stream time! Atticus Rowan, thank you for subscribing. 8 months does fly by. Jeez, I can't even believe that I've been on Twitch for 3 years now. Hello! We're doing a little bit of evening stream. I don't think it'll be a very, very long one. But you know, who knows? We'll see where the night takes us. Today was Empire's Day, but I figure it's a little bit late. Wait, why am I not? Hello? I figure it's a little bit late, possibly, to be jumping on, but we might do it anyway later. Because it's Empire's Day. But I might just want to vibe and chill and hang out. I got my roots done today, so they're a little bit red now. And I got like a hell of a lot of shadow happening now. And he cut my bangs! He cut my bangs and now they're good. Now they don't look stupid. The only thing that I'm running into the problem of, I think I want more layers like up short, because I feel like my hair's really flat on top now. But I got my bangs cut. They're cut good now, and not, they were so uneven. They were so uneven when I went in, he was like, who cut these? And I was like, me. I gotta pinch this more, hold on. I'm up in my nose. There we go. So, he was like, these are really uneven, who did this? Hold on, I need to go. I just ate a bowl of rice, so I want to go put Vaseline on my lips. Okay. I'm in very strong, comfy vibes today. I'm in a big shirt. I'm in sweatpants. It's one of those days. It's raining again in LA. It's always raining again in LA. Yeah. So we're just gonna hang out. What color are your nails? Red. They're just like a bright. Oh, you can tell that I'm right-handed because these nails are always chipping at the end because I'm like doing stuff. It's the Essie nail polish brand. Look at how much my hair color's even too, except for maybe there's some bits still that are darker than others, but oh, I'm so glad that it's so even now. The new chair is amazing. I had Elena sit in it too, and she was almost sold on it. Oh no. Oh no. Actually, she might have been sold on it. As far as I know, she's gonna buy this chair too, because the leg rest is so worth it. The chair itself goes really far back that I didn't realize. And it ow. Oh, the extension. I hate day one extensions. It hurts. Ow. No. Did Nightbot not come back? What do we do? What do we do? How do I get him back? What did I do? What do I do? Uh-oh. Monarch's fan, thank you for gifting a sub and resubbing. Solaris Stars, thank you for subscribing. Gabby Lena, thank you. Leon Boy, thank you for gifting. Seren Live, thank you. Liv Rabs, thank you guys for subscribing. I don't know how to get him back. I gotta ask around. How do you... Let's have a list of some of the commands. And I can take care of the other ones, but oh no. How do you fix... What if I Google it? Because surely someone else has done this before. What do I do if I banned Nightbot? No, none of these are answering my question. Okay. There are ways to troubleshoot getting him back, but we'll probably do it next time. I banned him by accident. Obviously I unbanned him. That was the first thing I did. I banned him by accident last stream towards the end, and I was like, oop. I unbanned him and I remodded him, and I was like, maybe just by the time I start the next stream, he'll just come back and join the stream again, because I accidentally kicked him out last time, so I didn't expect him to join back, because he's a robot. But now he hasn't come back, and I don't know how to get him to come back. I think what I need to do... I think I need to probably log out on Nightbot and then log back in. What's weird is that I can't find where you even log out from on the website for Nightbot. I don't even really know. It was an accident. It was an accident. He isn't dead. He isn't dead. He was just banned. Where the hell do I log out from on Nightbot? Nightbot's dashboard does not have a clear place for logging out at. What? I don't know you could do that to you. You could ban anybody. Have I banned a bot before though? I don't think I've ever banned a bot before. I don't know. Oh. I think I actually just fixed it. Okay, so now it says to remod him. He's already a moderator though. So. He's now joining your channel. Close. Is he here? Is he here? I clicked a button and it said he's joining the channel again. The Big Baguette Man. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you. I don't know, Productions. Thank you for the Prime. He's back! Nightbot, we missed you so much! Nightbot, I'm so sorry! Ow, ow. Actually, the back of my head hurts a little when I put it back. Ow. Nightbot, we missed you. Please never leave us again. I almost misclicked again. That's what happened. You ever just have your mouse floating around on your screen, but you don't know where it is, and you just click? That's what happened. And I clicked on the ban button for Nightbot, because that's just where my mouse happened to land. And it's a lesson learned that when you don't know where your mouse is, don't click. Just like move it around a whole bunch instead to find out where it is instead, because you might just accidentally click something you didn't want to click. Rory in the stream, thank you for the Prime. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad he's back. Oh, Nightbot. I'll never do it again. I'll never do it again. I like how there was no clear instructions when I Googled what happens if I ban Nightbot. Was I the first one to ever do that? Because who in their right mind would ever do that? What would you ban a bot for? There is no good reason for it. What is the reason? Oh, yeah, we missed him. Oh, I love that we have Grain. It's part of the command for the MCC team. We're losing sun fast, and it's only 4 p.m. It's because it's raining. It shouldn't have been this dark already. But I'm gonna go flick some lights on in my living room real quick. And then somebody donate me $5 so I don't feel guilty about ordering a boba that I really would like to order right now. There be light. Mars, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Grain. Teamed with Grain. Jojo Suyos. Lizzie. Alright, cool. Well. Is your MCC scuffed skin a surprise? Every MCC skin is a surprise. We never tell you what skin we're wearing beforehand. So yes, we also haven't decided, because we don't usually as a team for MCC ever decide before it's MCC day. I don't know what to do with my hair. It feels really flat. What are my thoughts on Shubble? I think she's okay. I think she's alright. Ow, ow, ow. Whoa! I think she hits the microphone too much. I punched it. I got fresh extensions just hurt a lot, and I'm uncomfy in my hair today. Yep. Is it a prank that MCC is on Saturday? Is it a prank? No. What? Well, because it's April Fool's. It's not fake. It's not a fake MCC. It's scuffed MCC. Because it's April Fool's. But wait, it's on... Yeah, because April 1st is the Saturday. MCC's always on Saturday. That's not new. But it is a scuffed MCC, so it's not a canon one. But it is real. It's not a prank. The way that you asked, is it a prank that it's on Saturday, sounds like the issues with it being on Saturday. And it's like, that's always the day it's on. It's always on Saturday. I do love boba. I do, but I already went to Starbucks today. Which I don't even like doing. I don't go there because I don't like Starbucks, but I needed to get coffee on the road on the way to getting my hair done because I didn't have any more creamer in my house to have coffee here. But will there be a Canon MCC event? You're asking the wrong person. I'm not the inventor of MCC, so I don't. Also, if they haven't announced the next MCC date, then you don't get to know when the next MCC is. It could be, I don't know, and I wouldn't tell you if I did because that's not my job. And I don't know. Sometimes I do know, though, but I'm not allowed to tell you. I know things a lot of the time with MCC, and I'm not allowed to tell you. Actually, almost always I know things that I'm not allowed to tell you. And that's the benefits of being best friends with Scott. I get to know stuff early. But no one can tell you the date of the next MCC before it's been announced by MCC. So that's up to you to go follow the Twitter. And I don't always know when it's announced. So I won't ever answer the question because I don't want to accidentally say it when it wasn't announced yet. Unless they're Tubbo and leak things. I'm so glad that Tubbo and Jimmy have gone down as the Tom Hollands of spoiling. And everyone forgot about what I did. No one remembers that I spoiled too. I spoiled, actually, I think a lot of the times that I've spoiled also, the general public didn't know about it. So I was mostly safe, but there was one big spoil I did that I feel like no one talks about. So I got out from being called the Tom Holland because no one remembers that I did a big spoil. It was an Empires one. Oops, if you weren't there, then no one knows it even happened. Whoopsies! But everyone remembers that Jimmy spoiled. No one forgets that Jimmy spoiled, and no one ever forgets that Tubbo always spoils. You just had to be there. If you weren't there for the big spoil that I did, that's just a shame. There were spoils that I did that weren't obvious spoils. So you guys don't even know that I spoiled because you didn't know what was being spoiled because you didn't know yet, you know? I remember your spoil. You had to be there. Also, I do think there was more than one, so if you're remembering one, there's a chance you're remembering a different one because I don't even actually know how many times. I do believe I spoiled more than once. But I did one big one. That was not a good one. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't supposed to happen. What do you mean? I don't remember that. There was like 3 times you did? Oh, shoot. I knew that this is why I'm so... No one remembers me as being the one who spoils things. Oh, yep, there it is. I spoiled that season 1 of Empires was ending before it was announced that it was ending. And that was like a big thing. That one felt like a big spoil. I wasn't supposed to say. All my spoils, I think, happen in Empire Season 1, mostly. I don't think I did any spoils of Season 2. But someone said they remember at least 3 times I spoiled, and I'd love to know what the other ones are, because I definitely know it. I agree that it happened, but I don't remember what they were. But the big one was that I announced the end of the series before we had actually formally said it was ending. But no one ever remembers it, and I don't get called the one that doesn't get to know things. We've had entire meetings in the Empire's Discord where we hid a channel from Jimmy so he couldn't even know, and we didn't let him know things because he spoiled. But I was allowed in there. I think it was the meeting about the date of the finale of season 1. He wasn't allowed to know what it was so that he couldn't spoil it, but I was allowed to know because everyone forgot that I did a spoil. Whoops! I get away with it. I'm innocent, I swear, didn't I? What did I say? You can't prove it. Prove it. What'd I say? What did I spoil? That's not nice. I like it. No, it was funny. If he was really upset about it, we would have let him in to know. But it was a good, funny time. But we did hide it from him. Nothing was spoiled. What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. I think I kind of want to read. I think I'm not used to the bangs being done well. And they're not poking me in the eye anymore, and they almost feel short now. I'm very excited for my team. But you ended up spoiling it anyways? Oh, no, I didn't spoil the date that it was. I just spoiled that it was coming to an end in general, which you might argue isn't really all that bad. But I never said when. I just was the one who spoiled that it was even coming to an end at all anytime soon. Oops. Hello. Hi. You want to come up here? You spent all day sleeping. She only just ate her breakfast right now. It's almost dinner time. But that's because you were hiding from all the scary noises all morning. Come on up here. You want to hang out? No? Okay. The date of what? Nothing. I think that my team for MCC actually has like a really good chance of winning whatever is going to happen, because I don't understand the 4 build battles or build marts, and one of them had a sword. One of them is a PvP. I don't understand. But I feel like we're going to be really good adapting, and I think that we could even actually win whatever this like scuffed coin is going to look like. I just don't know if it's for real that build mart is 4 times, or is that a prank? And what's the one that has a sword on it? Is it a PvP build mart? Because that'll be really fun, I think. I think that sounds like a great time. I wish it was still the shopping carts, though, and then you just kill people along the way. I think that would be fun. I think that'd be cool. What time is MCC? It's the same time every single time. 8 p.m. GMT. You go convert that to your time zone, but it is always 8 p.m. GMT. Or BST, whenever it happens to. Yeah? Hello? It is raining. Hey. What? Can you hear that? The faintest little cry. Come here, Bean. Oh. Come here. Don't sit over there like that. This is usually playing hours, because I'm not usually... Well, actually, I'm usually still live by this point, actually. I don't know what she's crying about. She just ate her food. Get up. It's 8 p.m. GMT right now, not BST. But it's always 8 p.m. for British people. For the British. You should watch my team's POV. I think that my team is gonna maybe even possibly win and crush everybody. I do wonder if the coin's gonna be like a piece of cardboard. Is it gonna be a chocolate coin? I think that I'd rather it not be a chocolate coin, because I'd like... If I were to win this coin, I would covet it the same way that I covet the normal coins. It would be just as special to me, so I don't want it to be a piece of chocolate that I would have to eat, obviously. And I just couldn't imagine that they would put an MCC wrapper around it, unless they did, because then that'd be awesome. But it might be just like a piece of cardboard with a little drawing on it. But... Oh, my tummy just made a noise. We'll see what kind of scuffed coin is the prize. Don't stare at me. She just sat over there staring at me. Come here. If you have the coin, how could you covet it? Do I not know what covet means? Maybe I don't know what covet means. I thought that just meant if I had it, I would treasure it. That's what I meant. What's on the agenda? I just truly don't know. We're gonna chat. I'm probably gonna read some like Reddit posts, Am I the Assholes and stuff. Maybe we go play Minecraft, but maybe not, because it's feeling more like a chill evening type of night, possibly. And since Empire's Day, I don't think anyone else is gonna be around pretty much at this time. I missed it this week. I think we'll probably... Did UK have daylight savings? Oh, wait, yeah, what is it over there now? Did they? No, they did before. Right? Yeah, they're in GMT now, I think. They had it before us. Wait, I don't have it. March 26th. Yeah, England did it already. Oh, it's BST now. But it's not summer. Oh, it's already BST? It is BST. Okay, so it's 8 p.m. BST now. But it's not summer. I mean, I guess it's almost summer. The BST means British summertime. It's summertime. We should do sunny time instead. I thought it would be later. Yeah, okay. I did know that your clocks changed before ours did. Which I guess I should have clocked that it's BST then. What are you doing over there? She's laying like she's just laying, looking sad. It could be British spring and summertime. It's British summertime. That's what it stands for. And then I don't know what GMT stands for. Something clearly less fun than British summertime. Oh, that's true. It can't be British sunny time because it's not even sunny there ever. It's true, except for maybe like 1 week. They got 1 week of sunny time. MCC is this Saturday. Is it 12 p.m.? It was 1 p.m. last time. Is it 1 p.m. now? Okay. I think because both clocks are changed now. Now it's... Wait, wouldn't it be... Yeah, like the clocks have changed since last MCC, which was only a couple weeks ago, but... So now we're back to 12 p.m. PDT. Okay. Greenwich Mean Time. Yeah, it is less fun than British summertime. Should have called it British wintertime. God, I hope that this is the last time we change clocks over here in this country, at least. It very well might be. We might, I hope. I don't know if it'll happen this year, if it's next year, but God, I hope it's this year. And then we never move the clocks back ever again. Okay, good to know. So it's 12 p.m. There's a brief period of time where MCC is at 1 p.m. PST instead of 12 like it usually is. And that was the last MCC. It was at 1. And I was ready too early because I forgot. And I thought it was at noon like it usually is, but it wasn't. So what time does MCC start? Just tell everyone 8 p.m. BST. You are responsible for converting that. Because if you get it wrong, it's not my fault, at least. So it is always the same time. It will never be a different time. It is always 8 p.m. BST. It just matters if the conversion is the same time for you or not. But it will always be 8 p.m. BST or GMT, whatever it happens to be. It's always 8. They say they're never going to change time in the next year. You're still switching back. Well, I hope not, because we're not supposed to anymore. I mean, if I think there's like one more stage of passing votes, which it seems like it very much will, but it hasn't happened yet. But our clocks being where they are right now in America might be where they stay forever or all time. And that would be awesome. You know what's confusing? Is it PDT now because we're in daylight savings time? And PST is not daylight savings time, but BST is daylight savings time and GMT is not. Why couldn't we be consistent at least with that? But no, I guess we didn't want to collaborate with our little friends across the river. I mean, the ocean. We'll see. Congress changed over, still have to pass it all over again. But it was just like weeks ago. It got passed weeks ago. It was very recently. Isn't that still the thing? Man, I just don't want to move the clocks back. I'd like to stay in daylight savings time now, please. And that's what everyone else said they want to do too. So we should just do it. How about that? There are too many times. And if we do this, where we don't move our clocks back after daylight savings anymore, it would mean that Arizona is the same time as California. So it's even less time zones. Kind of. It's still a different time zone, but it's the same time. So I guess it doesn't have to be a different time zone anymore. Yeah. Well, pilot time zones are irrelevant. That's how I started feeling when I was... My back and forth with here in England. I just always stayed on the same schedule no matter which country I was in, so it just didn't matter to me what time it was. It was just the schedule I was on never changed. So if I was waking up 9 a.m. here, whatever that is, 8 hours later over there, that's when I was waking up. I didn't change anything, and that's how I beat jet lag. Joshing around, thank you for the prime. Appreciate it. Cherry Cook, thank you also for the prime. Thank you, thank you. Yeah. Coming home from England is the best because that is the best adjustment where if I do manage to start waking up at least a little earlier over there in England, like the earliest probably being 11, it gives me a great schedule to go off of over here, but then eventually it slowly becomes 9 a.m., 10 a.m. a little bit over here. Again, it always goes back. Being a Californian in Arizona. And soon you'll be in the same time zone as us, kind of. You'll have the same time as us in your different, you won't need to have a different time zone because it'll be the same time. We'll be like cousins. Right now it's the same time. It would be like that forever because we wouldn't move our clocks anymore. Let's just do that. Let's just send it. Do I live in the States? Yes. I don't know why people don't know that I live here. I don't know why people think I live in England. Yeah? What? What? What is the sound you're making? Come here. Come. Have a hug. That's it. Good girl. No, that's the wrong way. All right. She just comes in here screaming. Is my piercing real? No. And I encourage everyone to get one if you ever wanted to try it. I don't see any reason why I should ever do this for reals, because I could just boop. Leon Boy, thank you for the 245 bits. EST is not that weird in my opinion. I mean, EST is not weird. Who said it was weird? I'm from the East Coast. It's not weird over there. I'm whistling at her like she's a dog. I don't think that works. Sometimes it works. I'm moving to London in a few weeks. That's exciting. Have a good time with that. I'm staying here. I'll think about moving over there in like a year. That's when I'm gonna reevaluate. I want to stay in this apartment still for another year. And I'll just keep going back and forth. I'm going back there in June. I'm going back after VidCon happens here. And then I'm gonna stay over there until TwitchCon Paris happens. And then I'll come home again. And then I'll go back probably a little while after that. I like my back and forth. I'm glad that it's slowed down a little bit. I have a little bit of a break. I gotta be home for a bit before I go back, which I will always go back. I always will go back there. Well, how are we hanging? What are we up to? Do we want to read, let's read a little bit of Am I the Asshole? Let me put on my headphones, because I do feel like I'd like to hear the music, and I'd like to know when it stops. These are tangled. I still have to go buy my, I have to buy my earpods. I didn't buy them yet. Ooh. Oh, good, it's on. Okay. Oh, this makes such a big difference when I have just a white, plain tab open. Wow. Am I the asshole? What'd I put in the title? That'll do. I've been watching a lot of reality TV shows. Like, I had been watching whatever is the latest season of Love is Blind, and Elena was over my house the other day, and we started watching it. Some of those people are fucking evil. Some of them are nasty people. Anybody else? I didn't know 100% what the premise of Love is Blind is. I thought I knew, and I was entirely wrong on what I thought this show was about. Because I thought the whole show was them dating for several weeks without seeing each other. I thought that was the show. And then after episode 1 ended, I started episode 2, and people started proposing and then seeing each other in person by episode 2. I was like, what the fuck? I thought that was the finale. I thought you do that at the end, and then you decide if you're going to get married or not at the altar. I didn't know. It's just the first couple episodes where they're meeting each other and they pick the person they want to propose to without seeing them, and then immediately they go see them, and the rest of the show is just them dating like normal. I thought the whole show was them blind. It is not. However, the show, as it is, has turned out to be way more fun and exciting than I thought it would be. I guess maybe watching two people in a pod was not a good idea for a show in the end, because they don't ever interact with other people. And although inside the house that they lived in, they were getting a little catty, little petty. But it is so much more dramatic now that all the couples are seeing each other in person. But it's like the blind part is the first episode and that's it. The whole rest of the show is not blind. I just didn't know that. I did not know that. It's blind until they propose. I knew that, and I just assumed they propose after, like weeks later, and then they propose, and then at the altar they see each other, and then they decide. That's what I thought it was. Nope. I think that might have actually been way more lame if it was that way, because it has been so exciting and full of drama since they've seen each other. And dude, if you are watching it, I don't like Micah and Irina. I think they're mean girls. And I don't like Kwame because he is gaslighting his fiance. What's her name? Chelsea? He started talking to Micah and he was like, I was just over there kind of getting closure. And then Chelsea was like, but I saw you guys laughing and like touching and having a good time. And he was like, well, yeah, we got over the part of, like, she made a nasty joke and he went over there to confront her. But then they started like being flirty and like, oh. And he totally lied about it to her face. And he was like, no, we were just catching up and like being friendly. And it wasn't, you're making it a bigger deal than it was. But it was a big deal. Chelsea got gaslit. She doesn't know yet. She doesn't know. I almost just ripped all of this apart. Hold on, I'm gonna go get water. It's so dramatic. You should watch it. Love is Blind. The new episode comes out today, I think. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I hurt you. You know what? It is her dinner. No, it isn't her dinner time. I was like, I'm gonna give her dinner when it's dinner time, even though she only just ate her breakfast. I thought I was gonna be able to give it to her now because she seems like she just wants her dinner now. She's waiting for it. That's why she's screaming. Papa, Anna, thank you for the Prime. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it. It's shady. And then Micah being like, if you ever need to talk or need someone to go to, I'll be here. You can't. You shouldn't be there. You're not the kind of person that should be there for him if he needs to talk about any problems he's having with his fiance, because they had previously, Kwame was like in love with her immediately, and then she picked someone else, and then later regretted it and wanted him still, and then was like, you can talk to me about any issues you have with Chelsea. It's like, you're this shady. That's shady. Get out of there. What are you doing? Oh man, I can't wait to see what happens. And then I recently watched Perfect Match. It's a new one, and I didn't really like it that much. But I think my favorite reality dating show is Love Island. I feel like their way of doing things and their formula for the show is fucking perfect and flawless. And I was thinking about how with some of these dating shows like Love is Blind so far, people can just lie and they don't get consequences for it until the show airs and people see what you actually said. But on Love Island, no, 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 no. If you tell a lie or like do something shady behind someone's back and lie about it or whatever, you get called out for it later because they do challenges where they bring up things that you said and put you on blast for it because you thought you got away with it. Or they bring in the tweets from the public who have been watching and they're like, I can't believe she doesn't know he did this. And then they find out they don't get away with their shitty behavior on that show. And I love it. There's consequences. Some of these dating shows need to implement something to have consequences for lying to get people to like you. What if Twitter simply lies? That's also something that happens on Love Island where Twitter hasn't usually lied, but the person who Twitter called out for like something shitty that they did, the person was like, no, I didn't do that. I don't know why they're saying that, but it didn't happen. And it's just so drama filled and juicy, and I like watching it a little bit because I don't like to participate in this stuff with real people, but when it's on TV and it's other people, it's okay. And I wouldn't even, if I knew any of these people, be this judgy about them unless they are liars, manipulators, and gaslighters. Because then they got it coming. Anyway, I'm gonna pick out some Am I the Assholes to read that seem like fun ones. I've never really liked too many of the other reality shows. I'm like really obsessed with Love Island, and Love is Blind has been fun so far, but I never was a Bachelor or a Bachelorette watcher. I never got into those. Maybe I need to watch Love Island season, or Love is Blind season 2. Which one is on right now that I think the newest episode airs tonight? Possibly? I don't know what season that is because I've never watched it before. Oh, it's season 3. Maybe I should go back and watch the other ones. Especially because once I watch the one that airs tonight, I will be caught up and have to wait a week or however long. Is this an 18 plus stream? No, but there will be swearing. It's not a friendly for children stream, but it's also not an 18 plus stream. I would have put a tag for that, and I never have a stream that is 18 plus because I don't know what I would be doing that like regular teenagers couldn't be around for. But this isn't family friendly if that's the question. I'm gonna be saying asshole a lot, in fact, because we're reading those. Hi. Star, you gotta wait 15 minutes and then it's dinner time. 15. She's just loafing in the middle of the rug. She really likes the new rug. I also like the new rug. A lot. Do I put water on the toothpaste or toothpaste then water? Or water, toothpaste, water? I'm a toothpaste water person. Water comes after, always, definitely. I think as a kid I used to wet it before as well. But now I'm just a wet after. Always wet after. If you're only wetting before and then toothpaste, that's wrong. That's wrong. Even if you do water first, then toothpaste, and then water, that's fine. You always gotta finish with water. You can't just put the toothpaste and not wet it. You can't do that. And it's okay if you wet it first and then also after, but you just have to do it after, is my only opinion. Tips on how to become a streamer. The sun is coming back out. Oh my God, it feels like the afternoon again. I give the same advice always to everyone, and it's basically, why do you want to be a streamer? Because if it's just because you want to be a streamer, I don't think that's a good enough reason. And I think that you need to have a specific passion about what you're sharing, the community you're building, what is the drive, and then just hold on to that. But there is no guarantee that you'll make money or make this a career. I just think that as long as you have a drive and a passion for whatever it is that you're sharing with your community or what community you're building, it doesn't matter if it doesn't ever get to become your career because it's a passion outside of that. If you don't have that, I don't know how to give you advice because I'm not the kind of person that would do this if I wasn't passionate about what I was doing without making money doing it, because that's how I started doing it. I started doing YouTube video making as a passion to just make videos and share them. Didn't make any money, didn't even know I could. And then I got very lucky. There's a hell of a lot of luck involved. But if you do have a passion and that's what you want to be a streamer for, you have something you want to share and offer, an interest or skill or something, I hope you find success. But I am not the kind of person that does it for the sake of money. I'm not a streamer because I wanted to be a famous streamer and make money. I want to read books to people. That sounds nice. That sounds really fun. And then you just have to work on building the community. And I think that for whatever it is that you want to share as a person wanting to share something as a streamer or creator, there is always an audience for it. It's just a matter of them finding you, but there's an audience for everything. So I hope they find you, even if it's small. If it's something that you love to do, it won't matter. And that's what's important, in my opinion. Some people do just want to get into the streaming business because they want to be a streamer and make money doing gaming or like whatever it is. And it's not really a passion. It's just it looks like a cool job to have. It is a cool job to have, but you know what I mean? Some people do it like that and they think of it as like just a job to get done and look at how they can figure out the algorithm to get good numbers to make money. Some people do it like that and that's whatever. I don't do it like that. I'm giving Sylveon and Flareon vibes at the same time. I like that. That feels right, actually. I can see that. I get it. I feel that. Second channel videos. So I uploaded a VOD today. So a VOD went up. I can't focus on all 3 channels at the same time. I feel like I'm only ever picking 2 of them at once. And I've gotten back into VODs. I'll have VODs every single day for the next week. But on either Saturday or Sunday, whichever one I don't stream on, I'm going to do my cider haul video and upload it immediately. And then I'm going to next week get my P.O. box and we'll upload trying on everything in my closet video. I just also made an order to another website of a bunch of stuff that I'll do a haul for when it comes. But I think it's going to be like 6 weeks before it gets here. Am I the asshole for becoming that parent by causing a stink at my daughter's school? I'd love to know what that's about. I would love to know how you made a stink and became that parent. Because that could be a lot of different things. You might be the asshole, but you might not. It might be all right. You might be all good. You look like you'd be a princess in the Mario universe who'd save himself. They should have an orange hair princess. I am a Daisy stan, to be fair, though. She is my favorite. Mostly because I was a brunette little girl, and there weren't a whole lot of brunette girl gaming characters. I was gonna say princesses, and there were princesses with brown hair, but it was cool seeing one in a video game with brown hair, or just any girl in a video game with brown hair. And I was like, I like her. I like Daisy. Daisy's an independent woman who don't need no man, because we all know that Peach and Luigi are really the ones who get together. We all saw the game theory. I definitely subscribe to it. And then Rosalina is their daughter. Rosalina also a really good pick, but I like Daisy because it was cool having a brunette princess in a game. But all right, I'm just gonna pull a few of these aside. Am I the asshole for lighting a match at night and scaring my boyfriend's dad so badly he woke up the whole house? I'm just gonna say no. It just sounds like he got scared and it wasn't an on-purpose thing, and you're not an asshole, so I don't even have to read that one. Am I the asshole for trying to get my wife to let my daughter call her mom? If she doesn't want her to, then I would think let it go, but I don't know. I don't know about that. Hi, Scotch! Hello! Pretty sure Bowser and Luigi are dating, but go off. Am I the asshole for calling the cops because my neighbor said she was going to call them on me? Uno reverse? Call the cops on her? Maybe. Maybe a fun read. We'll see. Am I the asshole for refusing to help my high school bully with his medical bills? I don't see why you would. I have to read that when I'm curious. I can't understand this one. Am I the asshole for telling my stepmom I don't want to include her as the mom of the bride and telling my dad that it's unfair to expect my mom to be perfect? I don't know what that's about. You heard the crack? That was my neck. Oh man, the sun came out. It's so nice. I thought it was going to be like nighttime before the sun came back out and it was just going to be dark the whole stream. But look at this. Look at this sun. Rain is done. Sun is back out. Now it's too bright. Now it's almost too bright in here. Sweet. This is lovely. Especially because it's daylight savings, so the sun is supposed to be out longer. And I was pretty sad that it was so dark because it was raining. Alright, I want to read the, Am I the asshole for refusing to help my high school bully with his medical bills? What did you do to him? Is what I want to know. How would you ever be responsible for their medical bills, but... Oh, did you get revenge and they got hurt? What happened? I need to know. Hi everyone. When I, 33 male, was younger, I was not the most popular kid in class. I don't really like the music that's playing alongside this. It's not very fun and upbeat. I need a different vibe. Let's do... Hiccup. I think this will be good. It's a little quiet. Sweet. I flew from Texas rain to Seattle rain. There is no sun in my future. Yeah, what'd you go to Seattle for? That was the mistake. Although you shouldn't have come here either because there's rain here too. And it is never ending. Okay, let me start from the top again. When I, 33 male, was younger, I was not the most popular kid in class. I did the musicals and academic subjects. I wasn't much of a sports person and not really very social. Towards the end of high school, I made quite a few friends and it got easier, but one of the popular kids, let's call him Jake, constantly taunted me for my ethnicity, my body, my nerdiness, and what have you. Ew. I've never forgotten and constantly resented him for it. Fast forward 15 years. Jake has done something very stupid and immature, and as a result, I don't know how to feel about the next sentence. What'd he do, though? I want to know what he did. Oh my god. Jake has done something very stupid and immature, and as a result, he's been in a coma for several years. I left my country when I graduated uni and now live in a major city abroad, earning a pretty significant sum. I'm known in my field, and everyone I went to school with is aware of this. Quite frankly, the fat musical kid ended up the most successful graduate of his class. For many years, the parents and friends of Jake paid his medical bills to keep him on a ventilator. I never really sympathized, to be honest, and kind of thought he had it coming. Oh, okay, that's maybe a bit too far. Maybe a bit too far for someone in high school who was mean to say he had that coming. I can't agree with that. I can't agree with that. I don't think he owes money necessarily if he really doesn't want to, but I wouldn't. That's maybe a grudge that was held on a little too long, possibly. From like a high school teenage kid. Anyway, an old friend messages me. I do want to know what he did, though, that got this to happen. Like, what was the stupid, immature thing that happened? An old friend messages me the other day telling me that the GoFundMe is finished and that the parents are almost bankrupt, and everyone would appreciate if I maybe could kick 20 to 30K towards his medical bills. Okay, that's a... Also, why are they coming 15 years later to you? Oh, because he's the successful one out of the class. Okay, that's a bit too much money to be asking for also, maybe. I don't... This one's weird. That's too much money to ask for? I laughed and said, absolutely not. I work for my money, and the last thing I want to do is give it to the person who made my last year at school a misery. I wouldn't be holding that against him still, but you also aren't... You don't have to give $20,000 to $30,000 to someone that you have not been a part of the life of in 15 years and didn't, you weren't close with, you aren't friends with, but That's asking for too much. I would tone it down a little by saying he had it coming, though, just because he was mean when he was a teenager. Unless this accident was, like, something... He said stupid and immature. Somebody said maybe it was something like, intoxicated driving. Then it is hard to have sympathy, just because that's the stupidest thing you could do. That's one of the absolute stupidest, dumbest things you can do. But he doesn't say what it is. Now, am I being a selfish asshole for not helping because clearly I can afford it? No, I don't think that's fair. But this is despite the person asking knowing that I was mercilessly bullied by Jake. I kind of see it as karma. I wouldn't see it as karma. I just need to know what he did. What was the accident? I've made it in life and don't want to share the spoils with people who tried to belittle me. All right, he added an edit. 2 of them, actually. For all of you wonderful people suggesting therapy, I appreciate you. But I'm not that kid anymore. I'm a successful professional married to an amazing woman with a beautiful daughter. I haven't thought about Jake for many years. I don't know, you're still holding on to something, I would argue, by saying he had this coming. I feel like I'm missing some really important information because that feels a little bit harsh. Not since I saw the articles in the newspaper about his calamity. I am certain I needed therapy back then, but I've matured and come into my own since that time. I'm happy, healthy, and satisfied. I love my life, I love my family, but most importantly, I love myself too. I don't dwell on the past, but when somebody calls you for 20 to 30 grand, memories can come back to you very quickly. Hey, just because you don't have a problem necessarily right now doesn't mean therapy might not still be a good idea. Edit 2. Wow! Thank you all, amazing people who have helped me feel a little less shitty this evening. I'm trying to reply to everyone. I'm sorry. Blah, 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 blah. None of that's important. So we don't know what he did that got him in the coma. That is too much money to just go up to someone who is essentially 15 years later a stranger to you. Just because you went to school together doesn't mean you still know that person and can expect money from them for any reason 15 years after the fact. Though you're strangers now just because you were in high school together. You're still strangers. But, like, you could still donate a little bit of money if you really wanted to ask for a specific amount from you, specifically a man that has been moved on from this part of his life for 15 years. Maybe too much. I just still don't love how he's saying he'd had this coma for several years coming. That's rough. That's brutal. I think that's a bit too far. Unless... if it was like a drunk driving accident, that's like next level stupid. So maybe it is play stupid games, you know, type deal. A few thousand, I wouldn't even... Like, if you... I wouldn't ask for money from someone specifically. Like, to go after a person that you know is doing well 15 years later because you want money from them isn't, like, a great look. But I just really want to know what he did. What, like, he did something stupid and immature. What was it? Tell us the story. I wouldn't say an asshole. I do think he should still talk to a therapist, though, potentially. Or maybe he doesn't need to. Maybe the missing information that we don't have is all of the answers that, like, we're missing, obviously. But, you know. Feel bad for the parents. Yeah, even if he was, like, a shit kid and maybe did, like, a horribly immature thing that got him in the coma, still gotta feel bad for the parents. That's a really tough situation to be in. But still not that guy's responsibility to donate $20,000 to $30,000 to a stranger. I probably would throw, if I was this man so successful that they felt even comfortable asking for up to $30,000 from me, maybe I'd throw him a few thousand. But hello, welcome, dudes. Hello, hello. He had it coming. Maybe it is one of those. We don't know. I feel like you don't say that if it isn't something real bad to say. This is karma that he's been in a coma for several years. That's like, that's rough. I don't know if this calling the cop one is going to be a good one or not. So I'm going to just skim really quick if it's like a fun kind of or not fun kind of. Yeah, let's see. I, 28 female, live on one side of a duplex and share a backyard with my neighbor, 40s female. There's no fence or divider or anything between our two sides of the backyard. We just generally try to be respectful and stay in the area behind our own side of the duplex. So I have a grill on my side of the backyard and have friends over for a barbecue, and some people were also smoking weed, legal where we live. My neighbor came outside at one point and complained that our smoke was blowing into her windows. And she said that if we couldn't keep the smoke from coming into her side of the duplex, then we had to stop smoking because it was technically illegal because we're not allowed to smoke inside the units. Inside the units, but not outside the units. I said that I couldn't really do anything about the wind direction and asked if she could just close her windows for a little while and then we'd go back inside when we were done grilling. She said that it wasn't her responsibility because it was my smoke infringing on her space and not the other way around, and said that she'd hate to have to call the police because she would absolutely would if I didn't knock it off, and then she went back inside. Shithead in high school? Enjoy your coma, loser. That's why I was like, that something feels real wrong about that, but maybe he did do something that bad. Okay. I probably would just close the window at that point. I probably also, if I was the one in the backyard, I probably would just stop for the time being until maybe the wind calms down too, because I just would want to avoid any confrontation at all. But it sounds like it's allowed outdoors. It's just not allowed inside. So there is no reason, and it's legal in the state, so there's no reason to be calling the police about it. What are the police going to do about it? Nothing. Karen alert. I get not wanting weed smoke all up in your house. But if you have the windows open for like, it's if you're just grilling, that's maybe an hour or two of time. Scotch says 10 minutes, so probably not even an hour. Definitely less, but what are the cops gonna do? If anything, you tell the landlord. If you're like really wanting to be a Karen about it, or if they're really being disrespectful, that's not a police solution, like problem to be solved. That's a landlord problem to be solved. Where the police don't give a shit. So the rest of the story, my friends and I started debating whether we'd actually be in trouble with the cops, or if my neighbor was just full of shit. That's why I'm like, they're not gonna give a shit. What are the cops gonna do about it? It's legal. I was almost 100% sure that she was full of shit, but I wanted to have a definitive answer. So I called the non-emergency line and asked if it was illegal for me to be smoking marijuana in my backyard if the smoke was going into my neighbor's windows. No, it's not, definitely. They asked me some questions about if we were the landlord, tenant to each other, and then after I explained about it being a duplex, they told me that I wasn't doing anything illegal. I told them that my neighbor said she might call them over this, and they said they wouldn't dispatch officers for something like that, and to not worry and enjoy my weekend. Yeah, they wouldn't. What are they gonna do? It's not illegal. They don't care. They're gonna tell you to figure it out, or tell your landlord. They might tell the landlord, though, and then landlords are never fun to deal with, and if she gets to the landlord first, I don't know if that's gonna be a great time. But a bit after that, my neighbor came back outside and told me and my friends that we were immature and scummy for preemptively. She found out they preemptively called the cops. For preemptively calling the cops to misrepresent the situation when we knew we were in the wrong. Because apparently she did call the cops to complain about us, and they told her that her neighbor had already called and warned them about a potential nuisance call that didn't merit police intervention. It's funny because if she didn't call the police ahead, they still weren't going to come. They clearly were still not coming. So at first I was happy to be right, but now I'm worried. Now I'm wondering if I should have just let my neighbor call and embarrass herself without getting involved. Well, that's not really what this thread is for. It's for am I the asshole? You weren't the asshole. Whether you should have let her call the police herself without checking first or not, doesn't really matter because she's still a Karen. Because I thought from the beginning that obviously the police would just tell her to stop wasting their time and I didn't really need to escalate the situation, which I think me calling the cops too definitely did. Am I the asshole for that? No. I do wish she didn't, because it would have been even funnier for the Karen just on her own to call the police and then tell her themselves without any intervention. We're not coming for that. Why would we come for that? That's dumb. I would be more worried about the landlord getting called, because that's like, I don't know. If no smoking's allowed inside, they might be a little bit mean about the outdoor space, but I don't know if they even can be. I think that's, I don't know. I don't have an outdoor space at my house, so I wouldn't know if you're allowed to tell tenants that they can't smoke outdoors on the property, because it's still their property, so I don't really know. But yeah, neighbor just needs to close the window for 10 minutes and wait. But get yourself one of those things that shows you which direction the wind is blowing, and only smoke when it's blowing towards her window. Yeah, maybe she would have called and then lied and said, yeah, I called the police. They're on their way, so you better pack it up. Although eventually they'd realize the cops are not coming, I guess. Not the asshole. Calling the police to ensure you're correct in your appraisal of a situation isn't a bad idea. Unless you're wrong, of course. Well, then she would have packed it up and not caused any problems at that point if she thought she was in the wrong. Your neighbor's embarrassed. You called her on her bullshit and made sure the police knew bullshit was coming down. Making the threat to call in the first place was immature. Yeah, because how do you even think they're going to do anything about it in the first place? That was just silly of her. If weed is legal, it's legal, and she can shut her windows. That aside, if you have a peaceful enjoyment... if you have a peaceful enjoyment clause in your lease, common in my area, she may have a complaint to file with the landlord. That's what I would be worried about. The police can't do anything about it, but the landlord... For my area, action on that would require escalations and notices in several months. So it wouldn't be of huge import. Action on that would require escalations and notices in several months. So she wouldn't have to deal with it for several months if this was the same in her area. But... So it depends on her lease, I guess. And where she lives. Specifically. But... What if they weren't smoking and the girl smoke was going in her apartment? She just has a bug up her ass about people's... That's a good point. She probably wouldn't have had an issue with grill smoke coming in her house because she didn't close her window for that. She just didn't like that it was weed. I do get, though, that weed smell bothers people. I understand that. But close your window, then. If you don't like the smell of weed specifically, close your window. Like, you're making it smell in your own house when it doesn't have to because you're being petty about it. But it's completely legal and allowed to be smoked outdoors, so just shut the window for a little bit. Yeah. I don't know how easily landlords can evict tenants, so if she were to go to the landlord and be like, hey, I don't like what's going on with my neighbor. I don't know. I feel like there are a lot of steps that need to be taken. They can't just kick you out right away. I hope. I don't really know. Because that's how it is in other countries. Same for work. In places like England, I know that they can't just fire you for no reason. It's hard to get fired from your job if you're doing a good job. But here, I feel like you just get fired for whatever and they don't have to really... They don't really justify it all that often. Welcome, dudes. So I don't know. It depends on where you are. That would be the only thing I'm worried about is landlord intervention, but... I feel like that's an expectation that you have to have if you live somewhere where it is legal. That people are going to be walking past your house sometimes that you can't have control over. She's just trying to have control over her neighbor in a shared space that she doesn't have control over. You know what I mean? But... Oh, somebody in the comments said everybody sucks here. We'll see. We'll see. Because I could agree with just being unhappy about the smell, but... Still, why wouldn't you shut your own window and then open it again later when it goes away if you really want to have open windows? That would be my take, but this person said, everyone sucks here. She's a dick for running to the cops, but just because it isn't illegal doesn't mean you're not a dick for smoking in a spot where it's blowing into your neighbor's unit. You can't change the wind direction, but you can walk to the other side of the building. I also thought about that too. Like, you could go onto the front lawn, but the whole point is that they're out there grilling already, so they just wanted to light up while they were grilling. But... weed does not smell good and that smell sticks forever. I do not agree with the sticks forever. It's not the same thing as cigarette smoke, which does stick. Cigarette smoke will cling to clothes and cloth and material items, but I feel like weed smoke, it goes away really quick. I don't feel like it sticks that long unless you're storing weed in a thing. Then it's going to always smell like weed, but it sticks for a little while and then it goes away. It airs out pretty quick, pretty easy. I just still understand that people do not like the smell. I get that. It goes away. It doesn't stick too long, and it does go away. But I guess she could have opted to smoke some, like, in a different spot if she knew it was blowing. But I just would shut the window for a little bit. Just shut the window for a little bit. Because I can't imagine that the girl smoke was nice either to have coming in the house. But that's a fair take to say that everyone sucks, and if it was you would choose to smoke in a different spot, at least in that case, so you can still have your smoke. But you're not pissing off your neighbor that you do have to share a space with often, and she maybe is being it is a dick move to call the cops about it. It's what are they gonna, they've actually thought they would do anything about it is what's funny to me. Yeah, cigarette smoke is different. It is an entirely different beast. That stuff stays, and it stains, which is why if you're gonna smoke cigarettes indoors, your walls will turn yellow. It will stay. I toured an apartment that they were like, it smells a little bit of smoke in here. We're trying to like do some cleaning to get rid of it. And I was like, I don't think that's going away ever. Weed smoke eventually at least always does go away. But cigarette smoke, that's forever. That's for life. Sometimes you get it up in the carpet. You always have that smell if you get close enough. My takeaway from this is that there's apparently a non-emergency 911 number you can call. There is. It's not 911. There is a non-emergency number. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but it might be different for different areas, so Google it if you ever have a question for the police, but it's not an emergency question. I've been forwarded to the non-emergency number before because I've made calls that I was like, I thought it was an emergency, so I called 911, but I only did that twice. I did it twice. No, 3 times. 2 times were the same thing, though, and it was that someone's car alarm had been going off for, like, upwards of 4 or 5 hours, and I was like, is anyone checking on this car? Should someone be checking on this car? So one of those times I called 911 because I didn't know. I didn't know about the non-emergency number at that point either, and then the second time I looked up what the non-emergency number was, and I called them, and I was like, could you just, like, send a guy around to make sure this car is, like, not... Because in LA, there's a little bit of a issue with people stealing catalytic converters on cars, and a lot of car theft happens around. Not where I live specifically, but I know it happens in LA a lot, so I was like, oh, just give a little call to the cops. And then one time I had to call the cops on my neighbors because they were fighting really loud, like screaming, and I heard banging, and there was a baby crying, and I was like, I just want to make sure the baby's okay. I don't know, I didn't like, that was, H was there, we lived together, and we were both just standing in the living room like, what do we do? What do we do? It was scary. It was funny, though, at the same time, but also really scary. We didn't know what to do. And so I called 911, and they were like, we're going to forward you to the non-emergency. And I was like, I feel like it's an emergency. But that's just me hearing all the noises happening. I didn't know. I can't imagine H in that situation. Oh, I had to be the one to call. Can you me and H have been in so many situations where neither of us should have been there because neither of us were adult enough to figure out what the fuck we were supposed to do about it. But I had to call because he didn't want to call. And there was another time where I had a U-Haul that I got left with that I wasn't supposed to drive because I wasn't the one who drove it in the first place. But I got left with it when I was moving, and we thought the movers could do it, but the movers aren't allowed to drive your U-Haul for you because it's like a liability or something. And so I was like, I can't drive this thing. This is way too big. And H was with me helping me move, and H had to do it for me, and he didn't know how to move it either. So he gets up in the U-Haul. We're tiny people, me and him both, and he's up in the U-Haul trying to drive it. He can't even get this thing to go. Like, he put it in gas, in drive, and hit the gas, and it wasn't moving, and we were both like, we don't know how to make this thing go. I don't know what to do. And then the movers eventually were like, we'll drive it, but you can't tell anyone. And so the movers ended up having to move my U-Haul. It was only a block down the street, too. But I will never get a U-Haul ever again. I'm just going to hire movers with their own whole truck, and it's worth the expense because I can't drive one of those. That's just what I learned. And neither can H. What did I tell people? Would you think H is 6 feet tall? Well, yeah, we're both 6 feet. So, but that's tiny. Oh, that I told. Well, you don't know who those movers were. Are you gonna call U-Haul and report me? Try it. All right, let's read a different story. I want to read this one because I want to know what kind of parent this person became. Am I the asshole for becoming that parent by causing a stink at my daughter's school? Actually, I'm 13'4", to be honest. But I like to make people feel better about themselves, so now I'm just going to say 6 feet. A modest 6 feet. Not too tall, you know what I mean? My daughter, Cleo, 11, is very active outside of school. She plays soccer, takes swim lessons, and will play outside a lot with neighbors' kids. She's very social, and most of her friends are from outside of school. At school, however, she struggles making friends. Cleo has ADHD and was bullied in 3rd and 4th grade for some of that. While it was brought under control by 5th grade, current grade, these kids still don't play with her and pretty much ice her out. While I don't think they have to play with her, it also means that she doesn't socialize a lot at school, and she's okay with this. Hello, welcome, dudes! We're reading Am I the Assholes? I'll even restart this one real quick because we only just started a story, so we'll get a fresh start on that for you. But we're reading Am I the Assholes and judging people. Oh man, I did an escape room last night. Segue, well, before we continue and restart the story. I did an escape room last night with Joey, and it was witch themed, and we were both gonna go dressed up. But we went to eat first, so we wanted to look normal, and then we were gonna slap witch hats on after. And I was so excited about this little witchy theme, but then Joey couldn't find his witch hat, so I didn't bring my witch hat either, because I didn't want to be the only one in a witch hat. But we did an escape room that was witch themed, and we absolutely crushed it. We did it so fast. We did get 2 hints. One of them I think we definitely needed because I was never going to find it. One of them I think eventually we would have, and we did beat it in 40 minutes, so we had 20 minutes to spare. But I felt so smart because there were a few puzzles that it took us a minute and we were really struggling, but eventually I stood there and I stared at some of them for long enough. And I pulled my big brain out for that, and I solved some of the puzzles myself, and I was like, I'm so proud of myself. And we beat it in 40 minutes. And we took a cute little pictures on my Instagram story right now. I watch y'all. Thank you for subbing. A toddler sub anniversary. You can walk. You probably could have walked by now, right? Yeah, wait, which crown do you have now? You have one of the galaxy ones. The next set of crowns after galaxy are like mushroom and plant themed ones, and then the ones after that are going to be sun and moon. Not galaxy, but sun and moon. And I'm really excited to see those. Oh, I'm getting poked in the eye. Ow. Okay. So we're reading Am I the Assholes? I'm going to start this one from the top. Am I the asshole for becoming that parent by causing a stink at my daughter's school? My daughter, Cleo, 11, is very active outside of school. She plays soccer, takes swim lessons, and will play a lot with the neighbors' kids, so she's very social. Most of her friends are from outside of school. At school, however, she struggles making friends. Cleo has ADHD and was bullied in 3rd and 4th grade for some of that, and while it was brought under control by 5th grade, her current grade, these kids still don't play with her and pretty much ice her out. While I don't think they have to play with her, it also means she doesn't socialize a lot at school, and she's okay with this. That's where we just got to. Her teacher says our daughter often plays alone at recess or reads. My wife and I were not very concerned and explained she's very social and active afterwards. I would agree that's okay. She has friends, at least. Like, that's not a concern that she isn't able to socialize or make friends. She just doesn't have any at school. She has them outside of school when she comes home. So she just reads during recess. It's a shame she doesn't have even one friend, but she seems fine with it. Cleo is a huge reader. She's currently reading her way through my wife's collection of books from her childhood. She loves them and treasures them, knowing they were her mama's, and wants to take great care of them. She came home on Tuesday Who ruined her book? I already know what's going to happen. Who ruined it? She came home on Tuesday very upset and worried her mom would be upset with her. I asked why, and she said her teacher took her book away and won't give it back until tomorrow. Oh, please. Karen teacher alert. What is that about? For real, I thought a child was going to have bullied her and ruined the book. But the teacher took it away from her? When pressed for more information, she said that she was reading at recess. Her teacher walked over and took the book and told her to go play. My daughter begged for her book back and the teacher refused. Leave her alone. Jesus Christ, don't make it even harder for her. I quickly assured Cleo that she wasn't in trouble and even called my wife at work to have her back me up. It was quite concerning that she was so afraid, as my wife isn't one to fly off the handle. Who's flying off the handle at Cleo? Someone at school, probably. Also the teacher, I bet. is having a little bit of a quick, snappy reaction to her. Because what is she afraid for? My wife isn't one to fly off the handle. She's always gentle with Cleo. As suspected, my wife assured her that she wasn't upset and that Cleo did nothing wrong. The next day, I brought Cleo to school early and walked her to a class. No one but the teacher was there. I told the teacher to give me the book. She obliged and tried to defend herself. I told her to save it, and she had no right. There is no rule that Cleo has to do physical activity at recess, and we expressed no concern. The teacher said she was allowed to set boundaries for her class, but I pointed out recess was free time. It's not like Cleo was reading during math. Also, of all the things that she could be doing, you're concerned because she's reading extra? She could have been doing anything that wasn't productive and also not playing with kids that you didn't want her to be doing, but she was reading a book. She was reading a book. Maybe encourage it. Maybe tell other kids, like, hey, maybe try having a little reading circle at recess, because that's a good thing to encourage. It's reading outside of school and not because you're forced to. Jesus Christ. We went back and forth, and finally I said I'd be reaching out to the principal. You can only hope that the principal will be on your side, though, because if they're not, then ugh. The issue was resolved quickly. I don't know the particulars, except the principal told me that Cleo is allowed to read at recess, and unless she's actively harming someone or reading during a non-designated time, she wouldn't have any more books confiscated. Yeah, what the hell? And at least the teacher tried first to have a conversation with the parents to say, like, hey, she doesn't really have any friends, and she isn't playing at recess. And the parents reassured her that it isn't something to be concerned about because she does have friends. They're just not at school. And she just wants to read during recess because those kids were mean to her, and why should she want to play with them? My wife and I were pleased, Cleo even more so. My cousin is a teacher at this school, just a different grade. She says what I did is hot gossip in the teacher's lounge, and that I have been marked as one of those parents. She says the teacher isn't paid enough. Well, then what is she doing extra work to take books away from your child for? She's not paid enough. Then leave her alone. Do less. And I should have just accepted the rule. When I pointed out that we only have 2 more months left at this school, Cleo is our only and starts junior high in August. That's not a concern. My wife and I feel justified, and we're wondering if I'm an asshole. No. No, that teacher's an asshole. Jesus. How do you see a child reading and be like, I'm going to ruin this. I'm going to mess this up for this kid. I'm going to take her book away and tell her to go play with her bullies. What the hell? That's like teaching 101. Don't do something like that with a good kid, an actual genuine good kid. I'm not even a teacher. I would know better than to do that. How do you sit in a class and watch classrooms full of students after students after students, year after year after year, and think it's a good idea seeing a kid who's just playing, like, or sitting quietly by herself reading a book because she had been bullied by these other kids before and doesn't want to be their friends and has her own friends back home, and think, let me go force her to interact with these other children that are awful and take her book away because she's reading so nicely and quietly all on her own with a book that she isn't even required reading. Let me ruin it. I would not want to be a teacher ever. I wouldn't want to be in that situation in the first place. People have told me I'd make a good teacher, and I thank you, but no thank you. Oh, to ruin like a good thing, like a good kid doing a good thing in school. Go talk to the bullies. Go tell them to pick up a book sometime. Do a little self-reflection. Tell them to sit in a corner and stop playing for a little bit because maybe they're kind of dicks. I understand the concern about her not having friends. I understand the initial concern, which was brought up to the parents, talked about. The parents said, there is no concern. She has friends. She socializes plenty. She plays with other kids. They're just her neighborhood kids. She doesn't have friends in school, and she's not concerned about it. She doesn't want to be their friends, and she just wants to read her book at recess. The teacher, after that point, should have done nothing. They should have done nothing. She says she's not paid enough and is going out of her way to make kids' lives harder. Do less. Relax. The initial conversation was all that needed to happen, and then once the parents were like, nope, no concern needed to be had, then you didn't need to butt in and take a book away and try and force her to play with the asshole kids. You should know that they're dicks. You're with them every day. You all know who the kids are that are the bad kids. Teachers aren't blind. If it was like class kickball, another event. Yeah, it is interesting. Oh, she's in grade school. Yeah, recess in grade school is just free time. You just throw them all outside and they do whatever they want. You throw like a bin full of balls out and you go chase whichever one you want. That's how it was for me. In high school, we did have activities that were specific gym time activities. Every gym class, it was like a set thing that we did, and you weren't allowed to just go off and read. But this is grade school. She's even pre-junior high, so you throw them outside with a bunch of balls. That's all that recess is for that period of time. In high school, she'll have other friends, hopefully. I think just as you get older and into the higher grades, more people are a little bit less judgy and mean, so you will have more friends. And you're probably not going to be allowed to read during gym. But in high school, you do occasionally get a free period outside of recess. Recess in grade school is literally for teachers so they can have prep time. And this teacher is getting up, going outside, walking up to this one child who's in the corner reading quietly, nicely, just being the best little kid ever, who is so excited about books, and I hate that this teacher almost ruined it for her. She came home so upset. You know what I mean? Almost squash like a really good thing. The ball, let them chase it. That's literally where recess was. Someone was in charge of bringing the bin of balls outside, one of the kids. All of us were just put outside, all the grades all at the same time. The bin of balls was dumped, and you just go chase whichever one you wanted to play with. And then most of us just stood around. I told the story of what my recess like playground at my school was, and it's just a parking lot. It was just asphalt and parking spaces that were empty, and a little itty bitty patch of grass in the corner that for a really long time we weren't even allowed to go on. So that's what our recess was. Most of us just stood around because the few games that we were playing on the concrete, some were okay. Foursquare, great, good game. Red Rover, if you ever were alive for that to have been a game still, but now is banned literally in all schools because it's too dangerous. Bad idea. I got a concussion. I got fucking clotheslined onto the floor. The concrete floor. So most of us just didn't do anything out there because there's no fun games to play when you're on concrete. Red Rover and broken collarbones. I'm so lucky I didn't have more of an injury. I only had a concussion. I did know someone that had, like, she got really thrown down. Red Rover was banned for me in 4th grade. You know what's so funny? Red Rover is the game I played in 4th grade when I got injured so bad that our school banned it, and then subsequently all the other schools started to ban it because other kids were getting hurt. But it was 4th grade that I was playing it, and then it got banned that year. I'm the reason in my school it got banned, but kids were mean and they threw me down. You can't do that. But the whole premise of the game is that you have to like run to break through people's arms that are linked, and the people whose arms are linked, its goal is to not let you break through their arms. So I got thrown. I did a little flying and then landed on my head. Because I don't recall before I got hurt that was happening much in other schools. But then after I got hurt and I got banned in my school, we did hear about other schools banning it. And then another kid got hurt in a school nearby and then they banned it. I didn't hear about any of that until I did it. So I set the trend. I got hurt first and I banned it in the country. That's what I like to say. That's what I like to believe was true. Well, that person's obviously not the asshole. Oh, so dodgeball. But we did inside. Dodgeball outside wasn't allowed either because it was concrete and it just was not safe. But dodgeball inside, that game encourages a little bit of bullying, and I didn't love it. I didn't like it. Somebody said, bring back dodgeball and rubber balls to the face. How about no? Because if you're not the one getting the rubber balls to the face, then you're not allowed to have that take. Be the kid who gets hit with the ball, and then we'll talk, because it isn't fun. It's so not fun. We used, in my school, we didn't actually even use the rubber balls. We used little foam balls. But kids still tried to put their full force behind throwing it at you to try and make it hurt, even though it really wasn't possible. They tried. They used all their strength to try and hit you as hard as they could with their little foam ball. The most embarrassing was one time we were playing, and I was the last one left on my side just because I was little and fast. And so no one was able to hit me, but I wasn't able to hit anyone else. And it just was the most embarrassing thing. So I was like, I don't want to just stand still and get hit, but I also don't want to play anymore. I don't want to be the only one on this entire side of dodgeball. I wanted to go home. When we did basketball is when people got hit in the face. The worst is when you jam your finger on a basketball. I was on the basketball team for a couple of years in like 4th grade, and I think I joined again in 7th grade, but that was it. But get your finger jammed in a basketball, the absolute worst. The actual worst. You could break a finger. Kickball, I don't think we ever did. Because we didn't have like a field of grass to work with. We had only the concrete parking lot that was empty. And just most games were deemed too unsafe to play on that. Especially Red Rover. Oh my god. Would I be the asshole for thinking it's a weird thing for my landlord to ask me to take care of his kids? Obviously not the asshole, but I have to know what the story is. I, 25 female, live in a large city and stay in a family's basement for over $1,300 a month. That's a high... am I wrong that feels like a high rent for not even being your own space? It's just a basement? That feels... maybe it's a really nice basement. It's a large city, so maybe that... if that's in a city, maybe that's reason. But for just a basement, that feels really high. Like, is that not how much you could get a studio for? Definitely not in LA. I know that's for sure. So I don't know where, if the city is LA, I could see $1,300 for just a basement. Or New York or something like that. They don't say specifically, but they do say a large city, so probably. $1,300 just for a basement, though. I hope it's a nice basement. Maybe it's like really well furnished, got a whole kitchenette. You never know. It could be really nice. Its own entrance even. They've been nice and we really don't talk at all, which is fine with me. I moved in around February and I keep mostly to myself and just go to work. My landlord, 50s male, told me that they would be leaving to go out of the country because his parent was in critical condition. He took his entire family with him, which is his wife and kids. They asked me to look out for packages and stuff while they were gone, which is not a big deal, so I said okay and to have a safe flight. A week later, today, he texts me and says his kids would be coming back, but not him, about a week from now. He asked me to take his kids to school until he get... Nope. You're paying rent just to have the space. You're not also his babysitter and daycare and... No. Oh my god, no. Why do they have to be sent home early? Get a babysitter that you pay for. Get someone that you pay for. Or a family member. He asked me to take his kids to school. Not even just to watch them, but to take them to and from school. I don't know when exactly that is. Until he gets back. I don't know when that is. The reason I think I might... Oh, I really want to have an update on this so bad. The reason I think I might be the asshole is because I think it's an insane request to ask a tenant that just lives here, and I don't know if they have any other family here. But I also know we live in a high cost of living area, and this house is probably worth more than I could ever afford, so I don't see why it's my responsibility to take care of my landlord's children. Also, not offering to pay you, or to ask like, hey, could you, and I'll pay you like a babysitter rate or something. At least it be a question would be nice. He probably could pay for a rideshare service or something else. For reference, the kids are at least 17. Yeah, just be booking them Ubers. Do they not have their own phone? Put your card on it and have them book Ubers. And if you don't feel like they're responsible enough, then go home with them. You can't make your tenant watch your children for you, who are also not even... She's 25 and they're 17 at least. My mom says I'm an asshole for not being helpful and that it's selfish. Oh. I get the older people take on that, thinking that's an asshole move to not, like, be part of your community and do something nice. No. He didn't even ask, though. He didn't ask. That's, like, basic minimum respect to at least ask first and offer payment for it, because that's... And not tell you for how long, either. I have a job that I can work from home and maybe have time to take them. I start about an hour after I would take them to school. I haven't called him about it yet because I feel bad. But like I said, I have a full-time job and live in a big city. I want to go into the if I want to go into the office or am required to or anything, I had already made plans to go into the office next week for something I have to do, for example. I don't have the time to take them because it takes over an hour to get there. It takes an hour to get to this school. Is there not a... Maybe that's why there's not a bus, because maybe they're too far? I know sometimes you can't have a bus stop at every location if there's no one else around and it's too far. It's an hour away. Ew. To just not even ask. That's just rude. He's an asshole for putting you in that position. How does your mom not see that? I really want to know the update on this. I don't know if there ever will be one, but I really need to know. Like, hopefully they said no, because that's ridiculous. I also watched a TikTok recently of someone who has a roommate that's an older guy that has kids that come for the weekend, and he made them a chore chart. So the roommate of these girls made all of the roommates a chore chart and added taking care of his kids as one of the chores, and was having the other girls watch his kids for the weekends he had them. Also, talk about bad dad that doesn't even want to spend his one weekend, like his only weekends that he had at the time with his kids. He doesn't even want to spend it with them. Ew. But you can't just do that to people. Just because you live in the same house and you're older doesn't mean you get to tell people what to do. I genuinely think it's an insane thing to ask a random tenant to do without consideration of my job or my life. He said, I won't be coming back and I need you to take my kids to school for an undisclosed amount of time. Granted, I have not called him yet to hear more, and the circumstances are out of his control, so I don't know if I'm the asshole and should just take his kids to school. No. 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 He either needs to get a family member or pay a babysitter or give them access to Uber, and like if they end up going off to do other things, that's his responsibility. They're his kids. He needs to have a handle over that. Or come home. I don't know why that isn't an option. Or like him and his wife. Why can't one of them come home? It sounds like it's his own parent that is in critical condition. Is that what he said? Something? Yeah. So his wife should come home maybe at least. Like one of them can still come home. Obviously not the asshole, but I want to read some of the comments. Not the asshole. Weird and totally inappropriate. And I wonder if he'd made this ridiculous request if you were a 25 male. Ooh. I thought of it as like an age thing. Like sometimes just people who are older than their roommates and or tenants feel like they have authority to just tell them to do things when they do not. Because you're all adults. It doesn't matter how old. But also, I don't know, would you just trust your kids with some random man that lives in your basement? Or do you only trust this random woman who lives in your basement, which also, don't trust some stranger with your children at all, maybe, is the lesson. I would just say no, but if you were inclined to do this for him, don't do it for free. That's my thing. At least he could have done is ask and also offer to pay, because this is like, you would have to pay someone to do this for you if you don't do it. He just thinks he's getting a free ride with his tenant that he does not have any control over. That's rude. He would have to pay a babysitter otherwise, so he should pay you. Calculate a daily rate for the service, and then also have to tell him, I cannot do it on these days because I have work. And he's not allowed to have a problem with that because you have work. You have a job. And sometimes you have to go into that job. If you cannot do it, you do not have to move around your schedule to be able to do it for him. And $1,300 just to be living in that basement and then have to take care of his kids for free? No. No. You get free childcare and $1,300 a month. It's shitty but smart. No, because who would agree to do that? And I wish there was like a way to report bad landlords like that who should never have a tenant ever if that's the kind of thing that they pull on them. Yeah, definitely wouldn't do it for free. Calculate a daily rate for the service that you are happy with and then add a decent additional amount for the last minute nature of the request and make him agree in writing that will come off your next rent before you lift a finger. Boom. That's a good way of, like, if you really want to do it, or you're like, I could use some money. You know what? There's a website for bad teachers. And in college, we used this all the time to find out if a class was worth taking because people would rate the teachers. Rate my professor. That's what it is. They need that for landlords, so you can use it in your area to see who is not worth living with as a landlord and screw them over. They do not have, they deserve to be called out for their shitty landlording, and they are not entitled to tenants if they do not want to deal with a shitty landlord. So rate my landlord. Warn everyone. Don't bother living here. It's not worth it. And they'll never have a tenant again. I loved Rate My Professor. It's also sad, though, that it was entirely a determining factor if we took a course or not, is if the professor was, like, a good person or not, because some of them were awful people and would just give like unreasonable amounts of work and was not worth taking the class at that point. And I feel like that has to reflect badly on the teacher eventually, where no one wants to take your class. And I feel like also colleges definitely know about Rate My Professor, so eventually I feel like that teacher's going to be fired and not wanted in other schools if they're that bad at what they do. It's not that hard to just be a nice person, though. You know what I mean? Getting it in writing is a good call, too, if you end up actually doing it. Yeah, we need to rate my landlord. And but it has to be regional. Like, each different area needs its own. Or no, because Rate My Professor works for everybody. All right, somebody needs to... I'm going to copyright that. Don't steal my idea. This is my multi-million-dollar idea. I finally had one. It was either going to be that or the lottery that me and my mom always were like, oh, maybe this is the thing that will get the family rich. This is it. Don't take it from me. I don't know how to set up a website. Someone was like, are you sure the text was meant for you? That's extremely weird. If his kids are old enough to travel, it definitely was meant for her. I would not put it past a landlord to be like, hey, you live here. Can you also do free things for me and take care of my children because I let you stay under my roof and it makes me feel like I am allowed to tell you what to do? But it absolutely does not. That's what you paying the rent part is negating the fact that you're not living there for free to do things for him. You're paying to live there and that is it. That is all. And I bet it's not even a nice basement. I bet it's $1,300 for a shit basement. Because it also doesn't sound like she has a separate entrance. Because they said they mostly just don't talk to each other. Which makes me think they are crossing paths, just not speaking. Not the asshole. That's definitely a ridiculous request. You're not a house sitter or a nanny. Free house sitter is a little bit of an included thing. But you can't guarantee if they want to, when you're away on a vacation, if they want to leave that same week and you have an empty house, they don't owe you anything. But for the most part, you do at least have another person in the house, so that like, sometimes it does work out, but it's not something to rely on. I'm in PDT, so it is still very sunny and will be for probably another couple hours because the times have changed, the clocks have moved, and it's amazing. I have to read this, but I'm scared of how bad it is. But I've read some pretty bad ones that I didn't even really notice were that bad until I started getting into it. Sometimes I read ahead to make sure I'm not reading like a unfun kind of bad read, you know what I mean? Some of these are not fun situations to even be like playfully judging at all. Am I the asshole for wanting to limit my brother-in-law's access to my unborn daughter because of his dating choices? Oh no. 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 I have to read it though. What does that mean? I don't. Something real bad. I think obviously the daughter is unborn, but the restricted access is for when she is born, not right now. But he's gonna limit his. She's gonna limit his access to the daughter that isn't currently here yet. But when it is here, he doesn't get to just see. Ew! Dummy account because the relevant parties are on Reddit. I'm 31, female, and pregnant with a girl. My husband, 33, has a younger brother, 31, who he's very close to. However, I recently told my husband that I don't feel comfortable with the idea of his brother spending much time with my daughter once she's born. It's not because of my brother-in-law himself. Okay. That clears up a lot of concern. That immediately clears up a lot of concern. But then why? We're not close, but he's fine. The issue is his life choices. He's not married, has no intention of getting married or having kids, and dates only for sexual purpose. He dates multiple women, and the only thing he has in common with them is that, like him, they are extremely good looking. He's highly intelligent, yet has no interest in meaningful relationships. Okay, this is not as bad as I thought. I thought this was going to be really bad. Oh my god, I got scared. I was like, that could have been worse, but also, I spoke to him about his choices a few years ago, and after accusing me of being moralistic, I don't care what this man gets up to, but I assume that the thing is she doesn't want him like bringing around random women with him or something. What is happening with the song that's playing? Oh, this was not supposed to be the next thing that played. That was weird. It just started playing another playlist. Oh, someone's enjoying golden hour and is laying in a little square of sun on the carpet. Hi, Star. Oh, you know what it's called when a black cat is laying in the sun? She's rusting. Because when a black cat is in the sun, you see that they're not like actually pure black. They're like brown in a lot of places and mostly like a really dark brown. So it's called rusting when a black cat's sunning out there. Just get some, hey Bean. Oh, she looks so precious in her little, it's so sunny right now. And it is this like golden hour. Sun is the big, on the descent. It has started. Star, you resting over there? Oh, I love it. My apartment gets so much sun. It's the best. I have to take a picture from over here. Hi. You getting the sun? She must be, I have to go touch her because I bet she's so warm. I just want to give her, oh. Somebody in the building's smoke alarm just went off and she's up now. She stood up. Let me pet you while you're warm. I just want to hug. May I? Oh, you're so warm. You get so much sun. You're such a warm girl. I just want to come and show her. Here she is. She didn't go back. I'm going to go put her back into sunning mode though. I don't want to keep her. You go back to sunning and resting. You sweet baby bee. There you go. Yeah! She plopped immediately. I put her right back in her little square of sun, and she plopped. She flipped over and flopped. Flip and flop. This is better. This is a better photo. Oh, she's sunning. You getting rusty out there? Hold on, I took a picture. I took a little picture of her sunning. I don't know if it'll focus because it hates me. Please. 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 There she is, sunning. That's a little bubble wrap that I gave her because she likes little pieces of plastic. She's just out there rusting. She's getting a little bit rusty. I love that. I love that's what it's called. You know what else is called a fun thing when it comes to cats? That thing that they do. So they knead with their little hands, making biscuits. If they're doing it at the same time as suckling, it's called snurgling. The whole combo. The kneading, making bread, plus suckling on like whatever, a blanket or just the air sometimes. It's called snurgling, and it's cute. And she does that a lot. That's what my cat does. When she has this pink blanket, she goes and she makes little biscuits and she sucks on it because she's like a little nipple. And it's called snurgling. I've heard that cats that do this like well into adulthood were likely weaned too early. And so it's like, it's a big comfort thing. It's really okay that they do it. But I was told it commonly means that they were weaned too early. And I do not know. Oh, she's having the best time. She's got the squintiest little eyes in the sun right now. I love when they just have their face up, eyes closed, just having the best time. I asked my mom why my cat sucks on my blanket while she's making biscuits. She's snurgling. It's a comfort, like, soothing thing for cats. And maybe means that they were weaned too early. Maybe just they're stressed and it brings them comfort. It's like they're mimicking the motion of doing this on the mom to produce milk and then sucking on the nipple to get the milk. But I don't know the full circumstances of her birth. I would not be surprised if she was weaned too early, because I was also told when a black kitten is born with a lot of speckly silver hair, it also means the mom was stressed when they were born. And she still is a little speckly. She has a bunch of little like individual white hairs all over scattered. And when she was a kitten, she was very speckly, very, very Lots of silver hair. I have a photo of her as a baby. It's cute. She had blue eyes because all cats have blue eyes when they're born. Now, this is just what I was told, so I don't know how much this is, like, 100% accurate all of the time. But probably at least some of the time. This is her as a baby. Please focus. Look at, yeah, she's very, like, silvery. You see all those little white hairs? Apparently that means the mom was stressed. But look at her little blue eyes. When I saw her for the first time, I thought she was going to look like that, and I didn't know yet that all cats are born with blue eyes and then they change or grow gray eyes. Most do not keep them. Some do. Very not often do black cats keep blue eyes, but I didn't know that. And then when they brought the cat over for me to meet her the first time, she had little yellow eyes, and I was like, who's that? I thought I was about to have a black cat with blue eyes, but I still fell in love with her immediately. And that's my baby Bean. She's sleeping over there. She's so cute. She's so precious. She's the best. Tilt the camera. There is no way to tilt this camera to point at my cat. She's way all the way in a different room, and this camera doesn't do that, so I can't do that. But yeah. And then when they rub on you with their little cheek, they rub their little face all up on you. Yeah, they're getting their smell on you. They have glands in their cheek, and they're claiming you. That's what that means. They got cheek glands. Okay, I want to finish reading this, and then I'm going to go get some more water and stuff. Because that's what they do with furniture in your house. They rub on it, because it's like getting their little scent around, but it comes out of their cheeks. Okay, so the man who dates lots of women, has no interest in having a meaningful relationship with a woman, and just wants to date around for having sex. This woman doesn't want him near her daughter when she's born. I spoke with him about his choices a few years ago, and after accusing me of being moralistic, he claims that he always uses protection and he never leads the woman on. Which I call BS on, as I can't imagine any woman with an increasing ticking biological clock would willingly be in a relationship if she knows she doesn't have a future. Some might. I don't know that we necessarily need to believe he's lying. I don't think we need to assume he's a liar. But like, some of the women, they very well might know that and be fine with it and don't care about whatever ticking clock you're worried about. Not to mention, what woman would want to be with someone who may not even remember your name in a year's time? Just leave women alone. leave women alone. Let them do whatever they want, actually. I don't like her anymore. I don't like how she's talking about what woman would do that. Some women, and be respectful of them. Leave them alone. You want to have a one-night stand and you don't remember his name either? I'm not going to judge you. I just worry for your safety a little bit, but I'm not going to sit there and say what woman would do that. Any woman that wants to. I mentioned this to my husband, however, he called me. I also don't know what the concern with the daughter is then. Because it doesn't seem like she's worried about him bringing women around. She just doesn't like him as a person. But I don't know. It sounds like he's pretty upfront about it. So I don't know that he's necessarily lying to women. He might just very well be upfront, and there are definitely women that just do not, they're up for the same thing. It doesn't matter. I mentioned this to my husband, however, he called me an asshole and said that it was ridiculous to limit our daughter's access with her uncle just because I don't agree with his legal dating choices. Even the asshole. Edit, I probably should have clarified that he generally goes onto apps like Tinder. I don't know why you probably should have anything. That didn't help. That doesn't make anything different. What makes it worse is the women he dates tend to be of a certain type. You can't just say that and then not say what type. What does that even mean? She's judgy. She sounds a little bit too judgy, I think. If everybody's in on the same, like, everybody knows what's going on. If he was lying and we had good reason to believe he was lying, then I wouldn't feel so much on his side about it. But I think he's just being upfront and this is what he wants to do with his life. He doesn't want to be committed to a person ever. Some people don't want to. And there are other people that will feel the same way, that are women that he's probably spending time with because they feel the same way. And I wouldn't be so judgy about them. Yeah, wow, I didn't expect the way that the story started, where I thought that we needed to be concerned about him for when she's like a little bit older, but like not old enough. That's what I thought this was about to be. The way that she adds this edit as like it's gonna make a big difference. He's on Tinder, and he's dating all women with a certain type, and that doesn't say what. I'm confused. Hi, Ollie! I want to do more escape rooms. I felt so smart in this one that I did yesterday with Joey because I was like, I solved some of the puzzles all by myself. And I was like, it was so smart. Hey, what's up? Sometimes I'm concerned about people, to be honest. I only worry about, for people who go out and do this stuff, I don't care. I worry about women just being unsafe because it's scary out there, man. You gotta be careful. It's just scary out there. Bring some pepper spray or something just in case. You never know. Just be safe. You know, take care of yourself. That's my only concern. We were reading Am I the Assholes and just chatting. I was gonna go on Empire's Day, but I figured it was too late by the time I got home. Empire's Day is pretty much, nobody else will be around for it pretty much at this point. So I just started chatting. Chatting has been going very lovely. Very nice. Very good. Lovely music playing. Stars rusting in the living room. I got a new black cat named Salem. She's fascinated with your stream. It's weird. She's just staring. This is not the first time that someone has told me that their cat is obsessed with me. Cats just get me. I get cats. Cats know when someone's like a really good cat person. And cats just do always love me. Even people who have cats that they're like, she's not a very social or friendly cat, or she's scared with new people. I get along with that cat in seconds. They just know. They get the vibe. I think cats are a good judge of characters. People say that about dogs, but I think cats are the better judge of characters. I think they have higher standards. So if a cat likes somebody, I think that's a good thing. So the cat follows the stream rules. I'm a cat whisperer. Truly, I was hanging out with somebody else's cat, and like, they were telling me about how their cat was alone for most of their life, so they don't really know how to play properly. 10 minutes later, I have this cat doing the like hunting, hiding behind a corner, butt wiggle and pounce, and she was like, my cat has never been able to play like this. And I was like, I just taught her how to do it. I just figured it out, and now this cat knows how to play properly, and it's so fun. Cats have to be played with a certain way sometimes for them to like really get it, and some cats are different with how you play with them. This cat played very similar to my cat, so I just figured it out. But yeah, cats have high standards, and honestly, we should all follow suit, maybe. Use my cat to judge people. I have to pee really bad because I drink a lot of water, and so I'm gonna go get some more water, and I'm gonna go pee really quick, and then I will come back and we'll keep reading and chatting and talking for a little while more, and then eventually I'll go, I think. So I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. I'm coming back. Hello. We're back. Why does it sound like we're at a funeral? Something about that? It sounded like a funeral song. I think it's like sounds like an organ or something. Hello. Now we are losing light because the sun is beginning to set. Okay. Obviously she's not, or obviously she is the asshole this time, which we don't get a lot of those. Usually the story ends with like, no, obviously you're not the asshole, and they just wanted to be reassured. But this time she is the asshole, and I would like to read the comments about it. You're the asshole. It's 2023. It's okay for women to like sex outside of the quest to land a husband. As long as he's being honest and safe, what's the problem? Yes, and not all women even want children. I do not hear my biological clock ticking. It must be digital because it doesn't tick. Yeah, that's judgy of women of certain ages too, to be like, they shouldn't be doing this because at their age, they should be trying to settle down and find someone and having a kid. I don't like that kind of mindset of like, that's what all women need to be thinking about. You're the asshole. You think your brother-in-law will be a bad role model for your daughter when you're making broad generalizations like this one about the women he's with. Only one person comes off as disrespectful to women in this post, and it's not him. Oop. Oop. Oop, that's so true. So true. You're the asshole. Not everyone dates for marriage. Not everyone wants marriage or long-term relationships or even short ones. That doesn't make them morally bankrupt. People who have life goals that don't match yours aren't morally bankrupt. Get off your high horse. Yeah, we all kind of felt that same way. We're on the same page. You're the asshole. He's single, not a predator. That's what they framed this like he was. And I was like, oh God, this has to be bad. And it wasn't. Ooh. Yeah, that was just a whole mess of judgment. I didn't like it. I don't like it. I don't agree with it. Okay, let's see. Well, that was all the ones that I had set aside, but we'll read a few more. I'm going to find some other ones that are good. If you had to rename Star, I don't want to rename her. I know I've talked about like where I felt silly for what I named her, but I will just continue to call her Star. I don't want to rename her. That's who she is. That's her name. But to me, she's Star or Baby Bean or Sweet Pea, because those are the names I honestly call her more than anything else. Little Bean. Baby Bean just rolls off the tongue really easy. Am I the asshole for wanting to temporarily live in a house I co-own with my ex? I don't think you're an asshole for living in the same house with your ex. I think maybe some people would be like, oh, that's a little weird, but then... okay. It could be weird. We didn't read it yet, so who knows? Oh, this is a weird one. Oh, I'm curious about this. Am I the asshole for telling my sister that all the kids I teach who have classic or old-fashioned names use a more modern nickname? Like, are you forcing them all to use a nickname that they don't maybe necessarily want to be called? Because then I think you're an asshole. I want to read that one because I'm curious about, like, what do you mean by that? All the kids you teach have to go by a modern nickname and you don't use their real names even if it's what they prefer? I don't like how that sounds. My sister asked and I told her, but even before I answer, I suspected she didn't want to hear what I'd have to say. My sister's expecting her first child. She's not sure if they are a boy or a girl yet, but she started compiling names. I teach elementary kids and my girlfriend teaches high school. Okay, I didn't even know who was talking, like it was a guy or a girl. So we are around a lot of kids of different ages. My sister has a love for old-fashioned names. Names on the top of her list are, oh God, Judith, Margaret, Dorothy, Ethel, Harold, Donald, Albert, and Eugene. This is a thing that I was reading about recently, actually, that old, like, what are considered old people names now are becoming popular for children now. It was an article in the UK specifically. And it's like, at some point, those names were the names for children, and now those children are old. So we associate them with old people. But a lot of those names are coming back into rotation for children again. And I could see some of them being really cute, but I don't know about some of those. I'm not a big fan of some of those, but I do like some of them. And some old lady names I think are very cute. And I think one of the best examples was, what is it? It was a British one. I can't remember what it is. Actually, Zoe Sugg named her child this. It was considered an old woman name, but is now like a very popular little girl's name in England. But I can't for the life of me remember what it is. Something with an O. Anyway, that's the thing that's happening now. My sister and her husband were having some disagreements on names because he felt like the names my sister likes are too old-fashioned. Not Audley. That's it. Audley. I had never heard of that name before, but apparently it was considered an old woman name in England until very recently, where people were going back to it because it's cute. Sometimes it goes back around into rotation to being a cute little girl name, and eventually those little girls will become old women, and then it'll become an old lady name again. But that's just the cycle of life. I like it. Some old lady names are cute, and old man names. Okay. He felt like the names are too old-fashioned. She argued against that. At the very least, the husband and wife need to agree on the name. But the sister being involved, I don't know why. She argued against that, but he said he doesn't think any child would use those full names in school or with friends. She said they're beautiful, and look at how many Elizabeths and Charles there are in the world who are young and only use the full name. Also, that can be just up to them later if they do or don't use the full name. But I don't know. I think old-fashioned names are kind of nice. I think some of them do come with really cool nicknames, too. I'm a big fan of the name Charlotte, and I love so much the nickname Charlie for a little girl. I have a thing about, like, standardly, like, typically boy names for girls, but I like when it's a nickname from a full name. That's, like, a really nice feminine name. I like that. That's what every single character I've ever made with a, like, D&D or tabletop game is always a girl with a, like, typical girl name, but nicknamed to a name that is a typical boy name. So I have a character named Charlie. I had a character named Mickey. I had a character named Joe. I had a character named... I feel like I'm forgetting one that was, like, a big one. Tony. I had a that was our private D&D that we were doing for a little bit. I had a character. Her name was Antoinette, and she went by Tony. I love that one. I think Antoinette is a beautiful name, and Tony is such a fun nickname for a girl. And then you can just let the kid decide which one they prefer when they're older. But I love those names. I love it. I love it. And I think Charlotte is just a nice name. And you could decide to go by Charlotte, or you could decide to go by Charlie. Can I tell you also about the thing about respecting the nicknames and names of children when they're other people's children? My sister has. One of my nieces, her name is Felicity. But, she couldn't say her own name for a while, so she was going just by Titi because that was just the easiest and that was the sound she made. But that's what everyone calls her now, and I hate it. I don't want to call her that. But I really want to call her Phil. But my sister is super, absolutely dead set against it. She does not want her daughter to be nicknamed Phil. I think Phil as a nickname for Felicity is adorable. And so I hope when she's older, I can run it by her and she could tell me, and she might be like, yeah, you could call me Phil. And then my sister can't tell me not to do it anymore. But as long as my sister doesn't like it, I won't call her Phil. But if she likes it later, then I'm calling her Phil. And I'm definitely going to run it past her. She can't stop me. If I'm like, have you ever thought about going by Phil? I think it's cute. Phil. Felicity. Me and my brother like making jokes, though. Someone actually just said it in the comments. Me and my brother were like, we should just call her City. Because we were like, what kind of nickname do you give someone with the name Felicity? There aren't a lot of options. Unless you're okay with calling your daughter Phil, which I love. I think it's cute. I think it's adorable. But me and my brother were like, we'll just call her City then. And my sister does not like these jokes, but we thought it was funny. And I think Phil for a little girl's cute. Okay, so... She decided to ask me what my experience was with kids, and I told her that in the classes I have taught, none of the kids with classic or old-fashioned names go by their full older name. Okay, I thought she made them do that. That was a different. But They all go by a more modern nickname. She was already angry, but asked about my girlfriend's experience with other kids, teens. And I said, from what she has said, it's the same. She asked what happens if we use their full name, and I told her I always respect what my kids want to be called, and so does my girlfriend. Okay, that's what I thought. She just weren't respecting what kids wanted to be called, but okay. My sister went a little crazy on me. All you did was tell her the truth. You just told her what she asked. You didn't even say anything of your own opinion about it. And said that just because I don't like the names doesn't mean I should discourage others from using them. Who said that? Who said that when? I reminded her that she asked me about my experience and that I did not offer it out of nowhere. She told me my snarky little comment about modern nicknames was enough. What? You just told her what was the truth? She said I was calling my future niece or nephew's name ugly already. Am I the asshole? No, she's getting a little bit too touchy about this for some reason. Definitely a compromise needs to be made between her and her husband before they name a child, because I feel like a lot of the times, like, that has to be an agreed upon decision. You both have a say. It's both of your child. I don't really feel like one should compromise on a name for your kid when it's both of your kid. But I do think compromise happens a lot where you let your partner name them instead. But I feel like it should be definitely a mutual decision. Both should like it and agree with it. And I don't think there's any sense in arguing about it if your husband really doesn't like it, or find something that kind of meets in the middle. But, oh, somebody said if she's interested in other people's experiences, I will share mine. Both of my names were popular in the early 1900s. Both are my grandmother's names. I hate both names a lot. People assume I'm really old when they read my full name. What's your name? What is it? You can tell how my relationship is with someone by the name they used to talk to me. If they use even a short version of any of those names, it means our relationship is not close at all. Wait, what? The people that love or care about me use the nickname I created. Oh, okay. If they use even a short version of any of those names, it means we're not close. The people that love or care about me use the nickname I created. It's extremely difficult to change my name in my country, so unfortunately I really want to know what they are. I think some old people names are cute for kids. But at the end of the day, when your kid's old enough to decide and they're like, I don't really like this name, you have to respect that. But when it's a baby, you have to respect at least your partner that you're naming your child with. My mom named me and my siblings. This is a fun story to tell because it doesn't make any sense after I tell you what our names are. But my mom named me and my siblings with the intention of us not having a nickname. She didn't want us to have our names shortened. She wanted us to go by our full name. Mine works because other than the fact that I just get called random things that start with the SH, like shovel, I didn't have any nicknames until I was online and like gaming and people were just calling me random names that started with SH, like shovel. Shelby didn't have a nickname really. I didn't like any of them anyways. I didn't like Shelbs. Ew. Refer to my post on Twitter that has been viral every single time somebody else screenshots it, and it's been screenshotted so many times. It's like 2 pixels now. And it goes around Facebook a lot, where I ranked nicknames that people have given me. And I hate Shell. Ew. Ew. Shell, Shelb, Shelbs, Shells. I don't like any of them. Except my dad calls me Shelbs. And it's only okay and endearing, and I like it when it's from him. He's the only one allowed. Shub, 10 out of 10, but I only really like when a friend of mine starts to call me it on their own, and it makes me feel special. When a stranger calls me it that just knows me as Shubble online, and they're not someone I know personally, I'm not really wooed by Shub at all. I just really like when one of my friends decides to start calling me Shub. Like, just people who haven't known me very long, but like we're beginner friends, and they refer to me as Shub. I like it. I think it's cute. But I don't like when people who don't know me even at all use it. Shrub. So many people ask about this when I hate it because it's not a nickname for me. It's a name of one of my characters, and I wouldn't go by the name of a character I play. That would be weird to me. I don't think of that as a nickname for me. I think of that as a character in a role play that I don't play anymore. And I wouldn't go by Shrub because it isn't a nickname for me. So that one I don't like. Thank you for asking, because lots of people asked me about that one. And it's weird to me because I don't go by other names of other characters I've made. And I get that Shrub came from Shub, but it's a character to me, not a nickname. Who was Shrub? A made-up character in a Minecraft roleplay SMP that we all love and cherish dearly, but is not me and not a nickname for me. It's a different name entirely to me. That's how it feels for me. But yeah, Shelby wasn't a very easy name to nickname unless you like are pushing it with like names that I just don't think are fun nicknames. My brother, Michael. Don't know how you think there's no nickname for that name, but his name's Michael. So the whole plan for us to not have nicknames went out the window there. And he does, in fact, go by a nickname. He doesn't go by Michael. And then my sister Shannon, which doesn't... You could call her Shanny, which I think... She tried that for a little bit, too, and I thought it was forced. She wanted that to be her nickname, but no one used that as an actual nickname for the name Shannon ever. So it was a little forced, and she only goes by her full name either. So it worked on two of us, at least, where people could try, but it just never really worked. So we didn't ever go by a nickname. Also, can I tell you an embarrassing story of when I was in school? Hi! There's still so much sun out there. Why did you stop resting? Too warm? We go into the closet? Just gonna go cool off in the closet now. There was a point when I was in grade school where we started getting asked. This hadn't ever happened before until I was in 7th grade, and this teacher just did this, and I hadn't ever had a teacher do it before, where we filled out a little sheet at the beginning of the year to say... like little things about ourselves, our name, and it asked if we had a nickname. I didn't know what that meant specifically at the time when I was 12, and I thought it just meant, do you want to go by a nickname? And I, Miss Little Shorty SGS was my username previously, wanted my nickname to be Shorty, and I didn't know that they just really meant a shortened version of your name that you actively already are going by, and not just a fun new nickname that you think would be cool. And so I told them Shorty, and no one ever called me that because that's stupid and embarrassing, and why would I even write that? Because that's not what they meant. But I didn't know what they meant. And I was like, I'm short, and some of my friends online call me this, and that's been a nickname, so they asked, and I answered, and that's not what they meant. I didn't know that. They should have been clearer about what they meant by nickname. What do you go by instead of... what is your nickname? Which it was my nickname for some people. I just answered the question, okay? I didn't know. No one had ever asked me that before. And I did it twice because they asked me the same thing in 8th grade too, the year after. And I did the same thing. I put the same, because I didn't know. I just thought they were asking me my nickname. That was the question. And that was the answer. I didn't learn until way later either, because I was like, they asked for a nickname. I gave one. I felt like I took it very literally, and that's exactly what they asked. If what they meant was, what do you want to be called? Or what are you usually called? Or what is the name you go by at home? I would have answered differently. I would have just put Shelby. But that's not what they asked. So, excuse me for... answering the question. Should have been asked better. I think I didn't realize that till very recently either, because I think it didn't occur to me what they meant by asking for a nickname until I don't know when it clicked, but I feel like it was recent. And I didn't realize that that's what's the SGS in Little Shorty SGS for? Super Gamer? Well, some might argue and say clearly because I started with RuneScape that it's the Saradomin God Sword, and that would be untrue because that weapon was introduced after I started my RuneScape account in 2003. That weapon was introduced, I think, 2006. That is just simply my initials. I don't know when I made the Shubble switch. At least 5 or 6 years ago? I did start and had a consistent following, like a substantial following as Little Shorty SGS for a good amount of time before I switched, which I wish I didn't. I wish I had my following after, and that no one knew that that's who I was for such a long time. What a name. I made it when I was 8 for my AIM account, and then it was my RuneScape account, also at 8, because I made that in 2003. RuneScape was made in 2001. When I find a game that I really love, I play it every day until I don't love it anymore, and that's what Minecraft has been. RuneScape I played for 11 years, consistently. And in Minecraft, I've played for at least 10 consistently. So, that's cool. Amy made a shovel emote and named it Shubble. I love that. I love Amy. That's so sweet. That's so cute. Almost said cute and sweet, and I almost said soup. I do love when I have a shovel in Minecraft. I call it my shovel. The shovel is a special item to me, only because YouTube closed captions refuses to call me anything else. Yeah, alright, well. Oh, one of the comments on this Am I the Asshole about the names thing is Hank Green has a video on how to name your kid, and one of his recommendations is to run it by a focus group of 12-year-olds to see how creative they can get about insults. And also some 12-year-olds might be like, oh, what were some of her examples? Maybe they'll hear fucking Eugene and be like, I like that. That's very unique. I think that would be a cool kid I'd get along with. Or they would come up with names you never would have thought of, and only a 12-year-old has the brain to do it. And that's a good idea. Every time I whip out the shovel, I say shovel in my head. Every time I say shovel, every time I say shovel, wait. Every time I say shovel, I say shovel. Fuck, that was hard to get out. Oh my god. It is just so close to shovel. There's a few other ones I get sometimes. Especially autocorrect on phones doesn't like shovel either. And so I get shuffle. I get called shuffle a lot because autocorrect makes shovel shuffle. Because autocorrect doesn't go to shovel first. Shovel is in sound for closed captions. Shovel in autocorrect is always shuffle or stubble. It is shuffle or stubble. It's usually stubble, actually, probably first, because that's only one letter off. Stubble, I don't like. I don't like when people call me Stubble as a nickname on purpose. I get that it gets autocorrected a lot by accident, and people say, hey, Stubble, and they don't mean it, but I do hate when they say it and they mean it to be Stubble, and I'm like, that's not funny. I don't like it. It's okay if it was an accident, but I don't want to be called Stubble on purpose, please. Shuffle's okay, though. That one's alright. Shuffle's a little cuter. Stubble just doesn't sound cute to me. It sounds like a man. I don't want to sound like a man. I do like that Shelby, though, maybe not commonly, but is technically, and I know of, a boy named Shelby. It's a unisex name, and I think I really like names that can be either, like, I think all names, they're just names, but I like ones that are, like, a bit unisex, ambiguous, doesn't give a clear gender necessarily. That's why I love my OCs that are named girl names but nicknamed boy names. I just like it. I don't know. Typical unisex. And Shelby is technically one of them. I know a boy named Shelby. Last names that are Shelby don't count. If that's Thomas, whoever that is, last name doesn't count because that's not chosen. But I know of a boy named Shelby, and he's actually in my family, but not related by blood. He's on my half-sister's husband's side, and they're Filipino, and I don't know if that's a thing or not, or if it's just his name is Shelby for some reason, and it is a unisex name. It started in England as a boy's name, and then got popular in the American South as a girl's name. I like to read about stuff a lot. Like cats in my own name. Shannon, too. I don't know a lot of Shannons like that are boys, but it is true that also is technically and has been a boy's name and is a unisex name. When you start getting like super do not care about labels and specific genders, doing specific like clothes, if you treat names like clothes are just clothes. If they fit your body, you can wear them. There isn't clothes you're not allowed to wear if you're, you start feeling the same way about names. You just get free reign for whatever you want. Name anyone whatever you want. Lots of good names. Any name is unisex if you are brave enough. Although there are some names maybe I would spare the child because it might lead to some picking on. You know what I mean? Don't go out of your way to make their life harder, maybe. But lots of names do truly work either way already. Do not name your child unisex. That would be a lifetime of cruelty. Definitely. Blake was the first known name to be used as both genders. That's interesting. The first? Wow. And Blake, obviously Blake Lively is probably the most famous, like, female named Blake, but it does feel like such a masculine name that it's funny that that was the first one to be a unisex name. I'd love to, like, read about that or watch a video. I like watching videos about topics that are, like, interesting fun facts, and history and stuff. That's cool. Ashley is definitely a unisex name. Also, so is Ashton. There's lots of them. I like them. I think they're cool. I think it's cool being a little bit ambiguous. Oh. I want to read this one because the comments are kind of funny. Under this comment, the replies. I think it's weird how a lot of unisex names have a masc and femme spelling. Well, I think people need to calm down about making up new spellings of names. Like, relax just a small amount. Tone it down. Stop making up new spellings of names that didn't exist before to make them seem cuter, and just stop putting X's in there and unnecessary vowels that weren't there before. Okay, I want to read this comment. Not the asshole. My aunt and uncle gave their son the more traditional name of James, but decided from the time he was born to call him Jamie. Oh, this was also, my sister also has a son, and his name is John, but originally, his name's John Thomas, and the goal originally was gonna be to refer to him as JT, but they decided later that they didn't like it, and I still want to call him JT, but no one calls him that, and I think he'd be weirded out by it, but his name is John. From the time he was born to call him Jamie, which is more frequently used as a girl's name. Oh, that's where all the comments are, like, naming men called Jamie. Jamie is super unisex. I would never assume it's a girl. By the time he was a teenager, he had begun introducing himself to his classmates as his full name, and he eventually told his parents that that's what he wanted to be called. They came unglued because they thought he was being disrespectful toward a nickname they had chosen for him out of love. My mom told my aunt that she and my uncle were the ones being disrespectful because they refused to acknowledge what he wanted to be called. Yeah, I agree with that. We all call him James now. Your name is your identity, and I believe that you should be able to decide for yourself whether you want to be called by your full name or a nickname, even if you're still a kid. And you could change your mind. Loads. You change it anytime you feel like it. It would show tremendous disrespect for a parent to insist on calling their child one thing when the child wants to be called something else, unless the kid is in trouble and mom pulls out the first, middle, and last name treatment. Yeah, agreed. K-Mate, thank you for the Prime. Thanks for subscribing. Yeah, if your son or daughter, or just if your child makes a statement like, I don't want to be called that anymore, I'm not comfortable, I like this name better, or this nickname is better, I want to go by this. What is it worth to pick a fight over? Just let him explore, and this is part of, like, what we talked about previously. Let your child experiment with who they are, and explore different types of things, like different clothes and different colors, and maybe a new name. Different, like, hair length and style. Let them experiment, and they're trying to figure out who they are. Let them do all of the things. I think that time is so important for them to figure out, because if they don't do it then, and you put them in a box too early, it's harder to do as an adult, and then it takes longer, and you should just be living as your true self as soon as fucking possible, if you can, because that's just the higher quality of life to be lived. I was originally going to be called Hermione from Harry Potter. I do think about some people that name their kids, like, stuff from media, like Naruto and stuff like that. Oh no. Oh no. I mean, it must be, is it a name before Harry Potter? Like, she didn't come up with Harry and Ron from nowhere. Hermione must be a name from somewhere else too. But the fact that you know it would have been because of Harry Potter is funny. Like, you still could have the name, and it could be unrelated, but you know for a fact it would have been because of Harry Potter. It is just a name, but you definitely, other people still would have been referencing Harry Potter around you, even if it wasn't because of Harry Potter too. I got my name from the movies, what's it called? Wait, I always forget how it's said. Steel Magnolias. I never knew if it was Steel Magnolia or Steel Magnolias. It's Steel Magnolias. Our Lord and Savior Julie Roberts, who we love. I got named after her character. Who dies. Spoiler alert. My mom liked the name. Magnolias. Not magnolia, magnolias. It's plural. I think it's a flower. Hold on, I don't know what it looks like. I never looked. I want flower tattoos so bad. One of the ones I want to get is a peace lily. I never thought to think of, is that not a flower? Steel magnolias. I think it is. Nope, only the movie comes up when I Google that. I thought it was a flower. It is a flower. It is a flower. Okay, I have flower in the search. That movie took over the Google search results. It's pretty. Maybe I should get that tattooed because it's what my name is after. I don't need it to have a meaning either, though, but that's a pretty flower. It's cute. It's a little white little guy. I don't know where I'd put that. That could be my hip tattoo. I bet you could do a cover up with this flower of my hip tattoo. I can't believe I never looked up what this flower looked like ever. Leon Boy, thank you for the 245 bits. I appreciate it. My name was going to be Cash if I was a boy, but my mom found out it was going to be... Oh, if you were a girl. Cash if you were a girl, but your mom found out you were going to be a boy, so your name's Wyatt. I like that name. I think that's a cool name, Wyatt. Also, Cash for a girl I really like, too. I think I've heard of a Cash that's a girl. I think she was on one of the reality dating shows I was watching. My name, if I was a boy, was going to be Adam. And thank God I wasn't a boy. No offense to any Adams out there. There's nothing wrong with it. I like my name better. And my name almost was going to be Chelsea. And I like my name so much more than either of those. I like Shelby because I feel like, one, not a lot of people have that name. Some people do. One of our own mods does. And we're the same age, and I feel like we're sisters. We're like twins. But twins don't have the same name. That would be weird. But Shelby is not a very common name. And I like that. And I like that it's a little bit of a unisex name. It's a little bit of an ambiguous name. And it's not a common name. Especially as someone online. It's not so often that if someone's talking about a Shelby... Oh, that's a scary thought, actually. It's usually probably going to be me. Because I don't know of any others. There surely are. But it's not like a big pool of people that you have to be clarifying. Like, there's so many fucking Jacks out there. I have so many friends named Jack that I have to be like, it's Jivik Jack, or Jack Manifold Jack, or Jack Massey Welsh Jack. And there's so many of them. And there's more than that, too, that I know. There's a lot of you guys. A lot of you are British. All of you are. Every Jack I know is British. That's too many. I know another Shelby who shares the same last name as me too. Whoa, are you related? Not that the first name would matter, but that's wild. In my lifetime, in person, I have only ever, in passing, come across another Shelby. There was no other Shelby in school ever. There was one girl that was a friend of my neighbor that came over one time, and I met her once. And her name was Shelby, and I've never met another Shelby since, except for my mod. But like in person, I don't know anyone else named Shelby. Oh no, we have the same experience. We are the same person. Spooky said it's sad because she's not a very liked person in my city and people always think I'm her. This was from when I was 8 years old, but this other Shelby that like lived at least in the neighborhood to be hanging out and friends with my neighbor and came over once and I met her. She also was not liked. No one liked her. She was mean. And I'm like, you get out here giving Shelby's bad name, like a bad rep. There's not a lot of us. Its reputation is important to the few of us there are. And I am not a mean person. But that Shelby was a mean person. But let's give her the benefit of the doubt we were 8. So hopefully she's better now. Or she's that person that you're now dealing with. It's maybe the same. It's the same Shelby. And she's just still out there wreaking havoc on other Shelbys. She's out to get the other Shelbys and ruin their rep. Mostly, though, any Shelby that I've ever met online, like just someone else being like, that's my name too. They're always such nice people. I feel like Shelbys are so nice when you meet them. Except for this one that's out there just causing problems for everyone. Okay, I really like the Steel Magnolia flower, so I will have to maybe make an appointment for my tattoo cover-up and or like just add to... It doesn't have to be covered. I just would like it to be adapted to, you know. Oh, that'll be nice. I wanted flower, and I still want my peace lily on like the collarbone zone, but collarbone zone. Guys, help, should I get my septum pierced tomorrow? Oh, that's a immediate, like, do you have an appointment or you're going to make one for tomorrow? Here's my advice. Don't do it. Do what I did. I think this is so genius and smart. Why would you ever? I don't ever have to deal with healing it. It doesn't hurt ever. I can take it out whenever I want. I just don't see why I'd ever do the real thing. What I will do, however, I do kind of want to get a stud and maybe two. Because now I'm like, I really love that chain nose piercing. But I really want to have a stud piercing at least one. Because I bought a fake one with a magnet. But on stream, while I had this in my nose with this fat ass magnet on the other side, I went... and I almost sucked it up my face. And I had to let it fall out of my nose on camera. Because I almost sucked it up. I don't know where it would have gone. Where does it go if it goes up your nose? Like into your lung? A magnet? I don't want to think about it. And now I will never put this back in my nose. And it was such a waste of money. Don't do that. I will get the real piercing for the stud. Septum, I don't really honestly see a good reason for doing it. Because this is just as easy. Except for the fact that I have to tell people every time they ask that it's not real. That's the only reason why I might even actually get the real thing, so I could stop having to say that. Or I'll just start lying, because what is the difference? They don't need to know. Magnet straight to the brain. I don't want to know what would have happened, because I was like, I didn't feel like it was dangerous at all to have this big magnet in my nose until I was eating something spicy, and I had to, like, do one of those. And I do that often, because sometimes I just get a little congesty, and... especially if I spent a day not really talking and then I go on stream and start talking, I get a little congested immediately. And then I have to go, you know? Oh, bro. But the stud, you can't get a fake one other than a little magnet. So we might as well just go get the real thing. It would go straight to my head. No. It would go in my lung, right? Because that's where all that's going. That's where that flow goes. All right. Well, realistically, it would get stuck in your nose, but if it did pass the maze in the human nose, it would go down the back of your throat. So I would swallow it. That makes sense. That makes sense because whether you want to talk about it or not, when you get a little bit sickly and you got a lot of gunk up in your nose and you finally get that cleared up and you like suck in really hard from your nose, you swallow it. Ew. But that makes sense. That checks out. And we don't tell anyone until I did right now. Except I won't tell you when it happens. It's definitely probably happened on stream all the times that I've been a little congesty on stream, but I won't ever tell you when. Please don't think about that anymore. I regret bringing that up. Let's read another story. Oh, I want to read this one. I want to read this one because this seems juicy. And we read a similar story of like Vibe the other time we were reading Am I the Assholes? Would I be the asshole for skipping my own surprise party? I'm interested. You're getting a sunflower tattoo? That's another one that I've always really wanted on like my forearm. But I can't decide if I want a big forearm tattoo anymore at this point. I'm on the fence about it. So I'm going to stick with little secret ones where it doesn't really matter. Until I feel confident in my decision about it. But I have one in my phone that I'm like, if I did get a sunflower tattoo, it would be this one. And it might have even been the only one I would get in color because the yellow on it I thought looked really pretty and green. But otherwise, I want only black and white. I feel like I don't want any colored tattoos at all. Unless the sunflower was colored. But I might not get it. Okay. I'm raging, but I realize I need some perspective. Hello? Sometimes there's just extra air in there for some reason. Also, do you ever just be in a room and nothing's happened, but you're just like, you just need a big breath, right? Because you just need it for some reason, but then people think something's wrong. Sometimes you get too much air and so you hiccup a couple of times. Just a couple times, not a big hiccup fit. And sometimes you don't have enough air, so you need extra in a moment. But there's nothing wrong, you just need a big sigh. Where am I going? I was getting up for the... Oh, I'll be right back 1 second. What are you doing? You look moisture. I just clicked a button on my headset that I do not know what it does. I don't hear anything different. I clicked a button that I don't know what that does. I wanted to what did I say? Moisten? That's what I wanted to say. Just put Vaseline on my lips because they were getting dry. I layer constantly Vaseline, then lipstick, so that my lips are never getting crusty. I'm not about crusty lips. Okay. Would I be the asshole for skipping my own surprise party? I am raging, but I realize I need some perspective. My 25 female birthday is today. I've never been a big surprise party person. I like to celebrate my birthday by usually doing something a bit quieter. Hi. Wanna come up? Nope, she's going over there. Okay. Which button? Oh, this one. Where is it? This one. I think that it only matters if I was like connected to, where the fuck is the button at under my hair? This. I don't know what it does, but I hit it. I think that it doesn't matter when I have it plugged into my computer, but maybe if I was plugged into my phone, it probably would have paused or something. I don't know what it would have done. Okay. I usually like doing something a bit quieter that I know I'll really enjoy. In light of this, I bought tickets for this Friday to see, oh, okay, I already see where this is going. I bought tickets for this Friday to see my favorite band. I bought them almost a full year ago. When I say favorite band, I mean #1 played artist on my Spotify for the last 5 years. We need people to start naming the things that they're talking about. Wait, who's the band? I just want to know. I'm curious. Cry to in the shower. Know the lyrics to every song, favorite band. But I've never seen them live, and I've had a year to plan. I didn't even know you could know a year in advance that a band is going to play somewhere and buy tickets that early. What do? Are you looking in the mirror? That's you. I think that she knows that that's her. I think she gets it. Like that other story with the guy where she was like, all the women that he hooks up with are all the same type. And then not to tell us what the type is? Like, what do you mean? We don't get what you mean. We need more info. Please. What are you looking at me now in the mirror for? Are you wrestling with the concept of your self-identity? What are you doing? That's you. I don't know why she's so involved in the mirror right now. She's never really cared about her own reflection before. But now she's just checking it out. Hi. She loves using the mirror to look at me with her reflection. That's her favorite thing. She'll sit on my thing up there and face the wall, but there's a little mirror up there and I see her looking at me through the mirror. And I don't like that she knows how to do that. She figured it out. Okay, anyway. I had a full year to plan, even got myself a cute little concert outfit. Skipped to 3 weeks ago. I mentioned something to my flatmate about how excited I am for the 31st. And long story short, she spills the beans that my friend paid for something for that day and said I should cancel my plans. No, you can't. I see why. Oh, you want to go in the closet? It's open over there. She wants to go in the closet from the other side, specifically. Come here. Want to go in? There you go. It's the same thing. It goes to the same place. It is a door to the same location on the other side. My first issue here is I'm worried what they have planned. The friend who apparently paid for this surprise birthday thing is big into getting tables at these London clubs, and that's very sweet, but I'm just not that kind of girl. And I was waiting for a year for this concert when I expressed my concerns, just politely saying that I wish someone had asked if I was free. Yeah, if you're gonna plan a surprise, make sure they're gonna be there for it. Like, that's step one. And then you can't be mad at them and tell them to be free that day when they've made plans already because you didn't tell them to be free that day. I was met with a surprising lack of sympathy and again told to cancel whatever I had going on. Tell them no, because I planned this for a year and you didn't tell me to keep the day free, that you were going to do something for me for my birthday. Second issue, because I still did want to do something small with my friends for my birthday, I made dinner reservations a week ago for the day after the concert, Saturday. I told them all, and they all said they were looking forward to it, and I mentioned it more than once. Even talked to one of them about it 2 days ago. I found out today that all 3 of them made plans without me for Saturday. Bad friends. They're all bad friends. Dump them. They're going to a game together. Everyone forgot about the dinner and no one invited me. Bad friends. Dump them. It sounds like they're also just lacking in interests that they both are interested in. Like they got a table at a club. And if she's not like the clubbing kind of a girl, it sounds like they're friends. And that's okay to have friends that have different interests. But all of her friends forgot about her birthday dinner that she reserved. and then also all are going to a game together that they didn't invite her to. No one's doing anything tonight for me either. Not that I needed anything, but you know, who wants to spend their 25th? Oh yeah, because this isn't even, it's her actual birthday now, and no one did anything to like even spend the night with her at all, like in a hangout. Who wants to spend their 25th birthday alone? I'd really rather go to the concert and say, screw them, screw them, screw them. And forget the reserved dinner with them. Find new friends. Would I be the asshole if I ghosted them and ditched my own birthday surprise? Like entirely ghosted them? Like forever? Yeah, I'd do it. I support it. They're not good friends. They didn't really think about the decision and how it affected you, and they're thinking of only themselves for your birthday. Selfish. Somebody said, don't ghost them, OP. Play them at their own game. Make a reminder post-text group about dinner for Saturday for your birthday and simultaneously let them know about the concert tomorrow. I'm thinking something like, oh my god, you guys, this year went by fast. You know, who knew last year that I'd be finally going to XXX concert for my birthday weekend this year? And on top of that, the gang is getting together for... Oh yeah, because she's not supposed to know about the surprise. So she's allowed to brag about the concert she's going to without any problem. And on top of that, the gang is getting together for celebratory food Saturday. What more could I wish for on my 25th? Too perfect. Oh, that's petty. I love it. I need an update. I hope she did that. The way they know you've been waiting for this an entire year. That way they know you've been waiting for this an entire year, reminding them of the dinner they bailed on as well as the activity they didn't invite you to, and says you were not available for the surprise party they poorly planned. That's good. I would have just ghosted and gone to the concert. If you need more help wording it just right, you let me know. Edit to add, I would use the top artist thing on Spotify as a picture to go along with my captions so they know how serious it was. Here's the thing. If they're really her friends, they would know how serious this concert is. They would know this is her favorite band for the last 5 years, cries to in the shower, knows the lyrics to every song. If they are her friends, they would know without having to say. If she was like, I got tickets to this person's concert, they should immediately know how big of a deal that is. But it sounds like they're bad friends. And then someone replied and said, and if any of them text to say that they can't make it anymore, respond with, well, you should cancel whatever you have going on. Like they told her to do. That's genius. I wouldn't have thought of any of that. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Who plans a party for someone without checking to see if they're free for... That's why I said step 1. You can't just guarantee they'll have no plans. It doesn't sound like they really cared if she did or not. They didn't care to think of her first on her own birthday. Or at all. Not the asshole that's straight up crazy, go to your concert, but don't ghost them, tell them exactly why you're not going to be there, and because nobody even thought to check with you first. Yeah, she is, and she's still not supposed to know about the surprise, so why wouldn't she tell them about these plans that she has? It makes no sense to not tell them that she has these plans. This is good, I like it. Hey. What is she doing? She's just going in both sides of the closet to see that it meets at the same place in the middle. But she has to keep checking. Just in case. Yeah, that's crazy. Not good friends, which is a bad realization also, because now she has to build a whole new friend group potentially, or maybe she has other friends that are individual loose little friends here and there, and maybe needs to pull them together, get a new group going. But these are not good friends. She's checking for ghosties. She's just checking to see if that door goes somewhere new the new time she goes around. And then she'll go around the other side and say, yep, nope, still the same place. Let me go check the other side again, though, just in case. She can travel dimensions, to be fair. So as far as I am aware, one of these doors to the closet does lead her into a different dimension at some point. And then she comes back later when I haven't seen her in a while. So... she might not be here anymore. She might be in the other dimension she hangs out in. It is Coraline cat. All cats are like that, to be fair. At the very least, all black cats are, because you do lose them for a while. And without a doubt, they're still definitely in your house. You just can't see them because they're so good at hiding, because they blend in with the shadows. So as far as I'm concerned, dimension hopping. Traveling between the shadows. I read a long time ago that cats don't really get the different doors go to the same place. I figured that that's just a cat thing, that she's like, I see 2 doors. I've never seen this other side open because I always leave the far side open, not this side. I just am never really needing to get into this other side because that's the Pokemon card side. I don't really go and look at that all that often. They're there for storage and to be remained in pristine condition for one day in 20 years when I decide to sell them all. Can cats go downstairs? Yes, cats know how to use stairs. Chloe Alice, thank you for subscribing. Red Cinder, thank you for 26 months. Thank you. Lime Stick Streams, thank you for the prime. They can go down but not up. Why can't your cat go upstairs? Like the reverse of horses. Imagine. Cats do prefer, if they have another way to get up to something, to use the other way. If they have a little shelf to climb or anything other than the way that you're supposed to go up a thing, they like going a different way. But yeah, I can't speak for all cats, but I definitely know that black cats do just simply disappear and seemingly leave the dimension for a little while. And then you look in all the places you look and they're not there. And then eventually you look around again and you find them in a spot that you definitely checked and they weren't there before. And you don't know for sure if you didn't see them because they blended in with the shadows or if they really just weren't there. You know? I'm really confused by this title, but it doesn't sound like one that would maybe really be that fun to read because it seems a little bit morbid. But at the same time, the title is perplexing. Am I the asshole for not supporting my sister after her best friend died by going to her funeral? Friend died on the way to whose funeral? Because it's worded like it's your sister's funeral, but you're not supporting your sister, which implies she's alive, and I'm really confused. And I don't know if it's too dark to read, because it's obviously, but I'm just really confused and perplexed by what this title means. And so... Oh, it was worded so strange. Not supporting my sister after her best friend died by going to her funeral. So the sister doesn't want you to go to the funeral and you're not supporting her by going. I was like, she died on the way to a funeral? I could not understand. Okay. We're not supporting my sister by going, so she's not going. Let's just read it. My sister and I are not close. Used to be when we were in elementary school, but once her best friend started to bully me, I didn't see my sister the same anymore. Her best friend was evil to me. She bullied me for my hair, bullied me for liking boys' stuff, and then bullied me for my body because even though I was 18 months younger than them, I got my period young and developed body hair and boobs sooner. I hate that. There's been a conversation floating around Twitter about, I think it was Sydney Sweeney was talking about it, how hard it was for her to develop her breasts so early at a young age as a woman. And people were like, oh no, I have big boobs. And I would just tell all those people, fuck off, bro. My body is also more curvy and bigger than most girls my age. That was something my sister's best friend loved to taunt me about, and I was already self-conscious enough. Like, you don't get how hard that is as a little young lady. Just a kid. A child. Ew. It was other women, too, being like, oh, I wish that was the problem I had in my life, was that my boobs were too big. Shut up. My parents hated that my sister stayed friends with her. They tried talking to her about friends not being bullies, etc., and she said that her best friend was never mean to her, and she was the most important person in her life. My parents banned my sister's best friend from our home. At least the parents were like, we see this is not good, and you're not allowed around here anymore. That's nice. And she was not allowed to join us places either. My sister still hung out with her at school and stuff. She died a few days ago. My sister has been sobbing ever since and was heartbroken to lose her best friend. As much as it might make me sound awful, I was relieved. I would never have to deal with her again. She never stopped being shitty to me. What motivates that in a person? I don't get that. And I even had probably jealousy. That's always what it is when it's like a kid bullying And if you don't get over it when you're young, it festers into this like nastiness in a person that they never grow up. But it's just bully behavior, to be honest, and probably jealousy. I even had to move school because of her, but she still found her way to make sure she saw me. That's ooh, I don't like that, because that could be the thing that pushes someone over the edge, just in the most awful way. My parents are going to the funeral with my sister. Our brother, he's the oldest of us 3, is coming home to stay with me. He's in college, but he wanted to be there for me since he hated our sister's friend too. My sister said we should all be going. You don't have to go to a funeral of someone that wasn't even your friend. Just because they're your bully, even if they didn't do anything wrong to you, you don't have to go to the funeral of someone that wasn't someone you knew that well or was friends with at all. Just because it was a friend of your sister's and you're not even close to your sister. You don't have to go at all. But my sister said we should all be going and that I'm shitty for holding on to stuff and that our brother never had a bad experience with her friend. Yeah, but your brother sounds to just not like her because she bullied you, which is a nice brother. My grandparents are saying the same thing even though my parents told them to stay out of it. I'm glad that at least her parents are on her side too. She said our sibling relationship will last a lot longer than any other friendship, and if I let my sister down now... Why does this have to be letting your sister down? She didn't die. It's not her funeral. Not only will the bad relationship be my fault, but I will be no better than her friend. Oh, that's mean. That's just nasty. That's not true either. They told me being a good person is putting others first at times. I don't think you have to go. I don't think you have to go. I think your sister should acknowledge the treatment that you endured and maybe put you first and understand that you don't really need to go. How about that? How about she be nice for a second? Yeah, her sister was never supportive, so why should she be supportive now? And it's not a person she was friends with and has been close with. Not the asshole. Your sibling relationship is already bad because of your sister. If anyone should change the behavior, it's your selfish sister. Yeah. Plus, I think people use the fact that you're related to, like, manipulate you to do things that you really should not be obligated to do at all, and it isn't a nice position to be put in at all just because they're family. But if they're not nice to you, then tough. If they're gonna be mean, then no, you owe them nothing. The fact that she had to move schools and she still went out of her way to torment her, that just makes me think back to when I was being bullied by my own friends. That really can push you too far. And people need to acknowledge that happens. And maybe we don't need to now offer sympathies to someone that was never nice to us, we were not ever friends with, and very genuinely could have pushed us way too far. I don't like that level of bullying. They follow you with it. Just to be mean. That's nasty girl behavior. Not the asshole, of course. Alright. I think maybe I'll read one more good one, and then I'm feeling like I want to go make dinner. Or order dinner. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, some people don't get over the thing that motivates them to be a bully when they're a child. Because I wouldn't hold it over someone that was just a bully as a child, because children just don't know how to handle some stuff sometimes. But when they carry it into adulthood because they're just nasty and don't grow up or get over how they feel or how to handle how they feel, that's just being a mean person. You're not a nice person. You're a bad person. And I don't like using the blanket statement of bad person, good person all that often, because I think there's a very short list of things that you can do that automatically make you a bad person. I think some good people make bad actions, but that just sounds like she's nasty. Yep. Yeah, getting bullied as a child messes you up big time, but as an adult now, I don't hold it against those people because they were also children, and I don't expect that they still feel, I hope they wouldn't, but some people do grow up to just continue to be bullies. But I don't expect to hear an apology or anything from that, and I am moved on from it. I just hope that they're grown as people, hopefully. I would wish that for them. Because all of that comes from little sad bits of the inside of you. So I hope they got over it and feel better now on the inside, because bullies gotta feel shit on the inside to be doing that. Sounds a lot like the one at Am I the Asshole? You don't wish a coma on them. What is it with these people that grew up, that were bullies and then later died? Maybe karma is real. I'm not about to bully anybody. That's coming for you. Karma's got its kiss for you. That's 2 stories that were like that. That's so weird. Would I go to the funeral of the people that bullied me? No. It's weird to expect that. Because it's okay that they, I get that they died. And I'm sorry. I don't need to go. You shouldn't expect people to go. I don't even have to still hate them or hold any grudge against them to just not go. That's just weird to expect people to go that weren't active parts of their lives anymore. That's just weird, I think. But karma got its kiss for them. That's one of my favorite. It was either a Vine or a TikTok, because I don't remember how old it is. But it's like this girl's crying in her car, and she's like, karma got its kiss for me. And it's the funniest. But she's crying, but it's also funny. Ooh, I think I actually read this one myself on Twitter, because I think I saw it just get passed around as a post that was getting passed around on Twitter. But I didn't read it on stream. Yeah, this is the same one. I want to read it now for all of us. Oh, Karma is a pretty name. Karma's a bitch. Don't say that to Karma. I feel like that probably must be someone's name. She's got a kiss for you, I heard. Am I the asshole for kicking my son's girlfriend out of our house? My husband, 58 male, and I, 56 female, recently met my son's 24 male girlfriend for the first time. He's been crazy about her. Apparently they've been dating for a year before he decided to have her meet us officially. What he's told us about her all seems great. She just got her degree, was enjoying her job, family-oriented, etc. I'm honestly just glad he's happy with her. My husband and I don't think he's ever been this into someone before, so I feel pretty bad about what I did. Last weekend, he brought her over for dinner. By now, we'd been anticipating meeting her with how much our son has been gushing about her, how perfect she is, how she's the one, in his words. They ring the doorbell. We open the door. She looks exactly like her pictures, which is a great start. My son is grinning ear to ear. Why would your son try to catfish you with his own girlfriend? We invite them in. She accepts my hug and a firm handshake from my husband, and then she opens her mouth. Oh, yeah, no, I read this, and I don't want to spoil it. She opens her mouth. I'm the one your son puts his penis in. That's not a good first impression. That's probably not the first thing you should say to your boyfriend's parents you just met right now as the first thing. Jokes are fun and all. Good fun when you have a relationship where it's established that maybe that would be okay, but maybe not as the absolute first thing to say to your boyfriend's parents. I can see that being a really fun joke later or never. Maybe for certain people, but also maybe never. To be frank, I was appalled. I expected my husband to laugh. Both he and my son are jokesters, and as annoying as it can be, I love it. But this was too much for me. Maybe I'm reserved, but of all things she could have shared about my son, she told us that one look at my face and my husband knew how much I disapproved. Maybe I let my expectations get too high, and it's unfair to have them, but I reiterate, of all the things to say to her boyfriend's parents whom she'd never met, she chose that. My son was amused at first, but when he noticed my reaction, his face dropped. This is a long one, too. This keeps going. I think definitely not a good way to start. I don't think that was smart. I don't think that was a good idea. Maybe she was nervous, but I still wouldn't have said that in my nerves. I feel like he'd sold me the full package, everything he'd always been looking for in a girlfriend. I was too disturbed by the visual it put in my head, and it translated into anger. Oh, that's true. If you're somebody that like imagines things easy, which is me, as soon as something is said, I have to see it now, and I hate you for it. I told her to get out, and I wanted to say more about how gross it made me feel, but I fortunately left it at that. My son didn't want to go, insisting I give her another chance, but I was too fed up and uncomfortable by this point. Even my husband, who's enjoyed his fair share of raunchy jokes, wouldn't let up. Oh boy. They left, and I immediately felt guilty. This was something my son had really looked forward to, and I feel like I took that away over a dumb joke. I tried calling to apologize, but he hasn't responded. My husband thinks she's the one who should apologize. I think she should apologize. Kicking them out immediately, I can't blame her for it without being able to do this dinner without being uncomfortable about what was said. I maybe would have at least tried letting her in and make up for it, but she definitely needs to apologize for what she said first, I think. And if she wasn't going to do that, then I don't really want to sit down and have dinner with her if she doesn't realize that what she said is maybe too much, maybe too far. Edit. I should clear things up. My husband had no part in my reaction. I did the kicking out, not him. I don't want him taking the fall for this. He said she should apologize, but I'm not expecting an apology. Sorry for the confusion. I would expect one. I would give her another chance to come over for dinner another time, at least. If she apologized and was like, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't know what to say. I was nervous. I thought it'd be funny. Maybe it's not even true. I don't know. My son lives in a nearby state. Oh, okay. They're long distance from parents. So it was a trip to come there. I wouldn't have immediately invited her in after that joke without an apology. Kicking them out right away, I feel a little bad about. I would feel bad about, but I would want to be apologized to first, I think. And like at least get the chance to explain herself. It's a shock that she hasn't already tried to apologize and not realized that that was something that she shouldn't have said yet, and that her son isn't calling either. I feel like she should have the awareness to know that this is where she should apologize at, and then try again, and then try again. My son lives in a nearby state. It can take about an hour to get back to where we live. He also hasn't dated anyone seriously for a while, maybe a couple of years. He told us before that he wouldn't bring anyone home unless he's sure he wants a future with her. Oh, no. I just want to hear her side. Like, why did you say that? And are you not sorry? Why aren't you apologizing? Just say sorry that you got nervous. And you'll never, it's the way that you guys joke with your boyfriend, but you realize that it was inappropriate. Anything. He told us... Oh. We've been asking to meet her ever since he told us about her, but he wanted to be ready. The comment about her looking like her picture shows my age. Sorry for that. He only shows us her photos she sent him, as he apparently didn't have any of them together. He hates taking pictures, and apparently she's always teasing him about it. I don't think he'd ever lie about who she is, but it's just a parental concern I've subconsciously have had. I felt the same way about my daughter's then boyfriend when we first met him. I don't have any criteria that either of my kids' spouses need to meet. I just hope my kids are happy with them. What I meant by her being the full package was indicative of what he's told us about her. As his parents, we have a good idea of what he looks for in a partner, and she checked off everything based on what we'd been told. And on top of everything aside from what she said, her appearance was how she presented it to be. Again, we aren't strict about appearances. It's just a relief to have met someone for the first time and they look like what you'd expected. My husband said that I was worried about secondhand catfishing, even if that's a thing. I guess it shows how anxious I was about this. Also, thank you for your comments and rewards. I've had a few people reach out to me personally, too. Thank you for that. Regardless of where you stand, I appreciate it. I personally think everyone needs some room for improvement here, but I've done my part to make amends. She did. She tried to call, and the girlfriend did not try, which I don't think there's anything bad about her as a person unless she refuses to apologize, because then I think that's a red flag that maybe she's been hiding until it came around to meeting the parents. The guy seems super young. Their son is 24. But I'm waiting for my son to call me. I'll be sure to give an update about how it goes. Please do! How do I find that? I want to see. I need an update because I feel like I don't see how the girlfriend doesn't feel like she should apologize. She definitely should, and if she doesn't, I think that's a bad sign. Somebody said, why don't you try texting the girlfriend directly? Apologize for your intense reaction. Let her know that you'd really like the opportunity to get to know her better. The girlfriend definitely still owes an apology though. I'm gonna guess that she's mortified right now and doesn't quite know how to move forward. Helping her back into the situation could be what your son and his girlfriend need to start over with the family introductions. And then OP responded and said, I would love that approach, but I unfortunately don't have any way of contacting her except through my son. He said he'll give me a call when he gets the chance. So sure, that's an excuse. He just doesn't want to call yet because you don't have the chance to call your mom. He's just too busy. So surely by the end of the week. That was 22 hours ago. So I do want to bookmark this for later. I can't imagine how badly I made her feel about this and regret it. She should feel bad. I hope she does. I hope she is mortified and is like, I don't know what to do or say. And hopefully comes out with an apology in the update. But we'll see. Because I do very much want to read the update. It could have just been a bad joke. It didn't need to be a big deal if the girlfriend apologized, immediately recognizing that it was not appropriate to start the introductions to her boyfriend's parents with that kind of joke. But I also get thinking that it was extreme to just kick them out immediately. But I don't know. They didn't apologize, and I wouldn't want to sit at dinner with the girl that said that and then just didn't think there was anything wrong about it. I don't know. Seeing those reactions happening in real time, I would have immediately been like, if everyone recognized, even the son immediately in the moment recognized it, the husband immediately in the moment recognized it, she probably recognized it in the moment, immediately should have been, I'm so sorry. We like to joke like that, me and him. I realize now that wasn't appropriate to do with you. I'm so sorry. I'd like to start over. I was really excited. I was nervous. You know, anything. Or she doesn't think she has anything to apologize for, and then I would worry about this girl that he's dating because, I don't know. I would be worried then. Somebody said, it really doesn't matter what anyone thinks here. What matters is what your son thinks. Do you think he is okay with how you handled this? He obviously wasn't okay with it, but is he okay with what his girlfriend did? Like, what does he think about what she said and what she should do moving forward? I would be curious. He clearly saw what she said as a joke, but you seem to be the only one who didn't see it that way. I don't know how. That's not true. The husband immediately also didn't see it to be a joke either. And was on the wife's side immediately about it. So I don't know why this person is saying that she's the only one who didn't see it as a joke. Was it highly inappropriate? Yes. But was it worth hurting your son and the woman he loves over? Honestly, I would guess that she won't want to be in your life anymore. That's too extreme. I don't agree with this person's comment. That's over exaggerating the situation in a way that it doesn't need to be. I would guess that she won't want to be in your life anymore. She for sure won't feel comfortable being around you again. If he chooses her over you, would you reacting this way have been worth it? That's silly. I think everyone needs to apologize, though. Just everyone needs to clear the air. The girlfriend definitely needs to apologize, and then the mom can also apologize, and it can be fine. If she holds on to this and doesn't let it go, the girlfriend is like, I don't like your mom, and I will never get along with her now. That's also a red flag. I wouldn't like that out of her either. And same for the son. This is easily something that can be moved forward from if all people involved are mature, respectful, kind, apologize. But we don't know if she is that. She might just not be a good girlfriend, maybe. Who knows? I am saving this for later, though, because I would like to see the update. It was only posted yesterday. Like, joking around, I don't even think that the joke is necessarily that bad if a relationship was already established between her and her boyfriend's parents, where it, like, is, we all know it's cool and clear to do that. I wouldn't start with it. That would not be the first thing I say. Definitely not. If she loves the son, she would try her hardest to have a good relationship with the parents. And I just don't see how being the person saying that joke, you don't realize at least apology, even if you thought it was funny and it isn't a big deal to kick her out over, you still have to you have to apologize for it. Maybe I'm 8 years old mentality, but I think the joke is hilarious. I don't think it's a problem with whether the joke is funny or not. I think it's that I don't think anyone is smart to think that's a great way. Literally the first thing to ever say to your boyfriend's mom. I'm saying say the joke later when you know her better. I don't think it's a smart choice to be the first thing. I don't think the joke is bad. I probably would never say it. I'd never say that ever to my partner's parents because I just don't think I'd joke like that with them. I imagine that's how the girlfriend and boyfriend joke with each other all the time. And she probably, with instinct, just joked the same way she usually does with him. Before even introducing herself and saying, hi, I'm so-and-so, she starts with, I'm the person your son puts his penis in. I can only imagine, though, I don't think that you say that out of nerves. She had to have planned that as her opening. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think just everyone needs to apologize to each other and be willing to move forward and be mature and understanding about it. And then everything will be fine. It definitely can all be fine. They're not going to lose their relationship with their son over this. And if they do, that's a little sad for the son and girlfriend's part because the mom is openly already willing to apologize, even though she is owed an apology as well. Sometimes a joke whiffs. That's just life. Yeah, not everyone's going to have the same sense of humor. And I just definitely wouldn't have opened that. I wouldn't have opened with that with a person's mom. Before you know if that's... Because even the mom said her husband and her son are all jokesters. And she loves that about them. She probably would have been okay with this joke later. Not first. But... it isn't the mom's fault if she didn't like the joke either. It's just not a smart opening. Not a smart opening. Use your brain. Not the asshole. I'm pretty liberal and open-minded, but for freaking sake, I would never lead with that. Meeting my boyfriend's parents for the first time. Or say that ever. Like, seriously, you open the door and that's what flies out of her mouth. Was she nervous? That's what I said. Maybe it was the nerves, but also it seems like a planned joke. Because I wouldn't... Maybe it's just me who wouldn't think of that on the fly, but was she nervous? Did she seem embarrassed at all? I want to know how she reacted and didn't like immediately be like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Did she try to apologize? Is there anything that could explain her inappropriate outburst? You apologized. Wow. Hats off to you. Yeah, mom already apologized. She did her part. Even if she feels like she overreacted. And even if you agree or disagree if she overreacted, she apologized. Neither of you can do anything to change what happened. It's up to her to accept the apologies or not. And offer one. I think she absolutely has to offer one. Don't beat yourself up. If she's decent at all, she'll understand, and it's not... If not, maybe good riddance. Edit if she doesn't call back to apologize or explain if there is anything to explain. That also says a lot. That's what I'm saying. If she can't be the bigger person here, not even the bigger person, but just a mature adult to acknowledge, like, maybe that's not everyone's taste, and I'm sorry I started our introductories with that. It says a lot about the girlfriend if she doesn't at least offer her own apology, because I don't think even the mom had to first. I would have expected one to me first from the girlfriend, but she already offered her apology because she felt like she overreacted, but just didn't know how to handle the rest of the night with the joke starting that way. But, yeah, the mom already apologized. She's trying to call her son and he won't talk to her. So the mom has already done everything in her power on her part. And it does say a lot more about the girlfriend and her son if they just refuse to accept it and try to move forward again from this and, like, start over. The mom already is open to it. She already apologized. And now I'm worried. Maybe this girlfriend is just no good, and now she's influenced the son, and he's no good either. Maybe they're all bad now. And they say penis jokes when it's not appropriate. I don't know. If you apologize, it's also about her desire to meet you in the middle. You, the mother of the boyfriend she loves. Grace goes both ways. You extended yours by apologizing. If she was offended, she would do the same. That's pretty much sums up what I thought and said. And yeah, she is, I would assume the girlfriend is about around the same age as the boyfriend, 24, ballpark. So they're Gen Z. maybe that's the secret here. I was watching a TikTok about the difference between millennials and Gen Z when they go to hair appointments from like a hairstylist. And she's like, the way millennials all come in is they come in and say, hi, hello, thank you so much for taking me. Can I put my things out? Thank you so much. It's just like overly polite, really, really thanking too much. And then Gen Z come in, they throw their purse on the couch, they sit down, and they're like, hey, what's up, bitch? This is what we're doing. And that's the difference between Gen Z and millennials. And I was like, that checks out, because I go show up to my hair appointment, and I'm like, hello, thank you so much. It's so good to see you. Can I put this here? Sorry if I'm in the way, you know, all that stuff. I love apologizing and saying thank you too much. But I love the attitude of Gen Z just come in and say, what's up, bitch? We're cutting my hair off today. It's bang season. We're bang bitches now. I like that, but I could see it showing up in places where it's maybe not appropriate, and maybe sometimes, like maybe this time, we need to maybe acknowledge and recognize those situations where that's not the way to open and introduce yourself. But I love the comfortability, like the comfortability, is that a word? Of just, or I learned about the millennial pause as a thing. And I think I do have it, because there aren't a lot of times where I have the moment to pause, because I don't record videos the same way as I used to. But whenever I do sit down to record a bit for a video specifically and I'm not live, I do start with, okay. And I click record and I say, okay, so, and then I start. But Gen Z just start. They hit record and start, or they're already going and they hit record, which that bothers me, because you're cutting your own self off. So the smart ones out here are the ones who are opening with, okay, so, but then they cut that out later. They open with it, but they cut it out later, so you don't know they did it. And so in my videos, sometimes I include one or two of okay, so now we're doing this. Most of the time I cut it out and I just start the thing that I'm doing, but I did say it when I was recording. But no one needs to know. Who came up with these gen names? I want to know who started with Y. Because now we got stuck with ending with Z. The next gen are Alpha. They're definitely going to let that get to their head. And they're going to bully Gen Beta, because that's definitely what has to come next now. Just shout out to Gen Beta when they come around, because you're definitely getting bullied for it by Gen Alpha, which is so alpha of them. Baby boomers are the one that makes the most sense. Baby boomers and millennials have like a proper name, as well as, who's Gen Y? Oh wait, Gen X and then Y. There is a Gen Y. And it's millennials. We just don't call them that. But they are officially also known to be Gen Y, because that's why we went from X to Z. Millennial are technically Gen Y, but I like ours because we have a name. I think that having a name is cool. Gen Z is boring. Although I like them being referred to as Zoomers, because I think having a name instead of a letter is cooler. So you got boomers, you got Zoomers, millennial. Gen X, just everyone forgot about them and doesn't ever think about them. Sorry. Sorry if there's some Gen X in here, but no one ever talks about you or refers to you, and I bet that hurts. You also didn't get a name. You just got Gen X. No one calls you anything else. I think pre-baby boom was the silent generation, and I don't think any of them had letters. I think we started the letters with X, and then we did Gen Y, and we didn't go by that. And then we did Gen Z, and they do go by that, but they also go by Zoomer. And then we did Gen Alpha, and I think there's not enough of them yet that's just what they are. It's Gen Alpha. There's no nicknames for them yet. They don't have personalities yet. They're older though. They're like teenagers, because Gen Z are already like 20s and stuff. Ew, I'm just getting old, man. Time has to stop. Slow down. I like being a millennial though. It's a fun one. At least I'm not Gen X. You know what I mean? Millennials carried a burden that no one else can understand, I feel like. But then Gen Z also got left with a world on fire, and no one else can understand that. I think we can understand it a little bit, but we also, the burden of the millennials. Also, I bet Gen Z relates, or Gen X relates to it, but I don't know anything about you people. I don't know anything about Gen X. Who are you? I think my sister's X, technically. Or is she? No, I think she's millennial still. She's old, young enough to be millennial. I don't think I know any Gen X. Maybe my cousin? Is it? I have many of them. I have a big extended family. Save us, we don't want to be an adult in this economy. Neither do we! Why do you think so many of us have stuffed animals? We don't know either what we're doing. Every generation's got a burden. True? I don't know what boomers' burden is, and maybe it's the cross they have to carry now, and they have to take the jokes because they ruined everything for everyone else. So now your burden is to be the butt of the joke, and you just have to deal with that. That is your burden. This is your fault. There's good boomers, though. Don't get me wrong. There's good. Not all boomers, but, you know. That's the burden, is that even the good boomers have to be the butt of the joke sometimes. And that's just the way it is now. So, you deal with it. Why boomers is derogatory. It's that's their cross they have to carry. Tough. We can't buy a house, so at least you're in a house, okay? Well, I think... Why is this auto-playing different playlists that I didn't agree to that aren't copyright free? What the fuck? I didn't have autoplay on. Did I? Well, who turned that on? Am I the only one that has autoplay turn on its own often? Because this is not the first time this has happened, and it does keep happening to me. I don't know why. Well, yes, I always have to turn it off. Why does it keep turning itself on? What's up with that? I don't know. Is there a name for someone who's too young to be a millennial but too old to be a zoomer? No, because there is no gap. There's overlap, maybe, but they judge the generations pretty specifically by years. If anything, there's maybe some overlap, but there is never a gap in between. It's called being on the cusp. Oh, is it called that? Oh, okay. I guess I just still... There is a cutoff year, but you could say you're on the cusp. Same for like a zodiac. You could be on the cusp of a zodiac, but you do technically within the dates fall on one. But you could say you're on the cusp. They don't get a name though, because there isn't a big enough gap to name them. You're just a cusp. I don't like that. What do you think would be considered the cusp? Because I am a younger millennial. Like I think there's only 2 years of millennials below me. So how much is a cusp? Is it just within 1 year? Sometimes there is an overlap of a few years between generations where Google gives you different results for where even the cutoff is. So it's not really widely 100% guaranteed thing. It's more of a feeling. Okay. Millennials are 1980 to 1994. Gen Z is 1995 to 2012. That's what. So Google will give you specific years. I'm 93. So am I cusp or am I millennial enough? If it's a feeling, then I don't really know. I think I'd say I'm millennial. I fit all the stereotypes. But I'm also like a cool millennial, right? Right? I'm like a cool aunt, right? Please say right. I think we're millennial. I feel like I would identify as millennial stronger. But I'm a young, cool millennial. Don't forget it, okay? Please tell me I'm cool. Ugh. It does make me feel less old to remember I'm a young millennial. I'm on the young end of it. I forget how old millennials can be at this point. Thinking of the oldest millennial, I don't think I would relate to them, but I think that's also why I have so many friends who are in like the 24, 25-year-old range. I feel like I relate to them more than anyone. But then I also have friends who... Why the music? I hit play. I do have friends who are a few years older than me, and we like are the closest of friends. So it all just depends on people, I guess. Not all people are going to be the same. You can't put everybody in a box. Megan and Joey are my friends that are the ones who are hyping me up for 30s, because it is going to be good. It's going to be great. And I got my 13 going on 30 dress to wear for when I turn 30. I'll show you. No one asked, but I'll show you. If you've never seen this movie, I'm sorry, but you have to immediately tonight watch it, if that's the case. Ignore my ear. phone bump, please? Thank you. Let me just pull my leg rest in. Oh, I have a laundry basket full of clothes on top of it. Can I get to it? Where are you in my laundry basket? How deep does this go? I'm just so excited about it. But I also at the same time want to have a... Okay, I just threw all the clothes on the floor because it fell over. So now they're all going on the floor. I folded all of these yesterday and they're on the floor now. I wanted to have, though, a themed birthday party. I really wanted to do like a cottagecore, witchy, whimsical kind of a theme. And this dress does not fit that. But I could also do a change of dress moment, or I could have two things. I could have a birthday party and then also on my actual birthday go out for drinks with friends and wear the 13 going on 30 dress. Because this is a fucking look. And do I learn the dance? Because I could try. I don't think it'll go well though. But the dance is also Thriller, so I just don't know if I would be able to do it. Maybe that's a millennial thing to be excited about the movie 13 going on 30, because that movie is phenomenal. Jennifer Garner, is that her name? We love her. It's got the little cutout. It's the dress. It's the same dress, and I'm so excited about it. I'm pissed off about my laundry on the floor now. I might just have to learn Thriller. But now I want to have two birthday occasions because I want to have a little whimsical, witchy cottagecore theme party where I wear a lovely flowy dress that I have been wanting an excuse to buy one for. And also go out for drinks in my 13 going on 30 dress. I hiccuped. I am turning 30. I know. I don't look it, but it's also okay if I did, because that would be fine. And I hate the idea that I like to discourage the compliment of telling someone they look younger than they are. Though, thank you. At the same time, thank you. But this is also maybe just something that people can realize is that while you might think I look younger, this is also just very much what a 29-year-old can just look like, though, also. And, that's all good and fine. And it's okay if a 29-year-old looks like they're 29 also. I will say my soul feels 26 because I feel like that's the last birthday I really actually had. Because of the pandemic, and then all the rest were stolen from me, so I don't feel like they counted as much. But that's just me. There is a very whimsical blue dress that I really want to buy, but it's a little bit pricey. And I don't want to buy it for no reason, because if it never gets worn or nothing ever comes around, I don't want to buy it before I have a reason. But I'm just waiting for the right reason. I can't find the link to it. I'm scared now. Did I not save it? Where are you? Please. Oh. Well, it's in there somewhere, I think. I could probably find it because it was linked on a tweet on my second Twitter, so it's definitely somewhere. All right. I think I'm gonna go. I think this is a great time to leave now. Brassmino, thank you for subscribing. Let me get the hugs. I have to refold some laundry now. I tried really hard to pull that dress out without knocking over the pile, and it just did not work. I think everyone's age paused before COVID, and now we can resume, and that means I am 26 again. I'm very happy to have the years of experience that I have, though. I wouldn't want to change that for anything. So if that means I'm 29, then that means I'm 29, because fuck, I needed those years. I like where I'm at right now. So if that means I'm 29, then that means I'm 29, because girl, you're so right for saying that. Chronos Spawn 2, Asby, Solaris Stars, and Rosie Hugh. Get in here, hug. Usually I tell that bitch to shut up when I hear her. But I wanted to be nice this time. She's speaking the truth. I'm getting a little too comfortable calling myself bitch and saying it on stream, but it's just fun. It just hits good, you know? Sometimes it's a good, you just gotta. That's why I'm glad I'm not family friendly on stream anymore. Sometimes you just can't replace a certain swear because it just doesn't hit the same. We're not allowed to drop the B word in chat. We keep chat a little tamer than me, but I just don't want people getting the go-ahead to swear in the chat too freely, because then they get carried away with it, you know? I'm allowed, though. Do as I say, not as I do. That's what Mom always told me. How hypocritical. You badass bee. That's allowed. You could do that. That's good. Thank you very much. All right. Well, shoot. I'm going to send you guys over to Elena. And then I'm going to go watch the next episode of Love is Blind, and I hope she does after she's done streaming too, because I made her get involved in watching Love is Blind, and she's hooked on it just as much as I am now. When did Family Friendly die? A while ago. Oh, like for the chat? It's a lot more loose now. You can use some swears that aren't like really big ones sparingly. I just don't want people to get out of control, just dropping F-bombs for no reason. But is the fuck okay? Yes, TF is okay. But YouTube is still strictly and always family friendly. Those videos completely 100% safe. No worries. Stream though, I feel like just sometimes I gotta, and it's just made me feel so much more free. I like it. All right, go, spread the love, be nice, be so cool. She's playing Minecraft. I gotta play on that server. I might even actually hop on later, because I'm gonna be on Homie's off stream and just be around for other people and just to play, because I have enough Minecraft to stream at this point. I have too many, but maybe you'll catch me around over there. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. I will be live tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.